Chapter 6146. And then, Shenmu King asked directly. For a time, the atmosphere was extremely embarrassing. Even Wu Li, who doesn't write drafts when he speaks, doesn't know how to round it up. Young Master Honglong was very determined. He glanced at the wooden queen and explained. After a month, the cracks in time and space will collapse, and treasures will not appear in the future. Hi! Wu Li hurriedly came out and flattered. Ling Zun's technique is simply unique, and the universe gods can't help it. I simply admire it. It's serious, that is, those high-level cosmic gods don't look down on these treasures. If he really likes my father, he may have to let go. After all, the price of offending a cosmic is too high. Modesty. Jian Wushuang felt that the price was enough. If you offend, you will be offended, and you can't hand it over to others, right? It is estimated that the Lord of Zelangshan has secretly competed with many gods of the universe. And in the end he won. And he can always master this place. Fortunately, they didn't talk about this topic yesterday, otherwise they would die. It is more practical to cooperate honestly. Okay, let's go in directly. Young Master Honglong was not talking nonsense. He took out a token and directly opened the entrance of the big array. But just before everyone was about to enter, the mountain peak not far from here suddenly burst open. The huge noise distracted everyone for a while, and looked at the bursting mountain. A purple stone unicorn sprang out from the mountain, and the burst of divine power had already reached 40 million. It turned out to be a purple stone unicorn. It's just a low-grade divine beast. Qingxian, you can drive it away. Young Master Honglong gave a random order, and then turned his eyes back. After feeling the formation, I was relieved that there was no change. No one thought it was a coincidence just now. It all felt a little weird. After feeling that there was no problem with the formation, young Master Honglong breathed a sigh of relief. His guard leader Qingxian had already returned. Young Master Honglong is not surprised by his own people. How could he not know his strength? This is also to beat the others, and let them know that their subordinates are not weaker than them. Especially beating the elder Zhuge. Don't think that with seniority, you can do whatever you want and don't take him seriously. His own guard leader Qingxian is also his senior sister, a disciple of his father. Divine power 43 million. It is only a little weaker than elder Zhuge. Young master. Qingxian still held a beating heart in his hand. This scene made Wu Li's heart skip a beat. Just when Qingxian took action, 10,000 swords were released in one breath, and the purple stone unicorn was easily beheaded. It's just a beast, why kill him? Young Master Honglong pretended to complain. Keep it for yourself, there are quite a few monsters around here. Don't wait to bring them out again. But as soon as he finished speaking, a monster appeared again. Young Master Honglong covered his head and said helplessly, "Forget it, don't bother, let's go." After he finished speaking, he took everyone into the canyon of time and space. When entering, Wu Li also quietly said, "Brother Wushuang, how does the kendo of that little girl just now compare to yours?" "I can't compare. You just say that you are stronger, or she is stronger. Stronger than I was back then, but stronger than I am now." "How many years ago?" "Probably 10 million epochs ago." Wu Li just kept his mouth shut. He didn't know much about Jian Wushuang's strength. It was Huiking's strength that shocked him a lot. Now it seems that Jian Wushuang is still stronger. 10 million epochs ago it was so strong. Now that it has become the 8 tribulations realm, the combat power of the demigods is no problem. After entering the canyon of time and space, the feeling of confusion came oncoming. Moreover, there are some small space-time cracks, and one may accidentally divide the divine body into 2 parts. Although not fatal, it can damage the body of the gods. Now Jian Wushuang's divine body is formed by the condensed power of the starry sky. The power of life and the power of all things in the past are useless. Are there any treasures that contain the power of the starry sky? Be careful not to get hurt. Otherwise, even if he has the source starry sky, it will be very slow to recover. Although not as slow as ordinary practitioners, it still takes hundreds of years. This can already be said to be extremely fast for ordinary practitioners. But for Jian Wushuang, who was able to recover his divine power in an instant, it was simply a turtle speed. So after entering the space-time crack, he was extra careful. In addition, his strength was the weakest. So he took the opportunity to walk in the middle, next to which young Master Honglong. The further you go deeper into the canyon of time and space, the more cracks there will be. But that kind of crack is invisible, just like a line. Unable to flow out the treasure, it will hurt people. The power of thought must be tense. And if one is not careful, it will be seriously injured. Half of this physical waste task was handed over to young Master Honglong's guard, and the other half was handed over to Wu Li and others. However, Qing Xian and Wu Li were one after the other, one to protect Jian Wushuang and others, one to protect Honglong. As for polite Shangyang and Elder Zhuge, they don't seem to want to contribute very much. After entering the canyon for most of the day, found nothing. Young Master Honglong was in no hurry, holding a compass in his hand, searching for the treasure he was looking for. Turn around, time and space are messed up, and we have gone the opposite way. Young Master Honglong kept reminding the route. It is very troublesome to enter the inner circle. If there is no Honglong to lead the way, even if this place is given to them, it will be difficult to search for treasures. It's hard to say Jian Wushuang, because the time and space here are disordered, and his mind power is wide open, and the scope is much wider than theirs. A few floating treasures have even been seen. There are 7 tribulation realms, and there are 8 robbery realms. Don't talk about him. Even the others don't look down on him. He simply ignored it. Otherwise, you can use the power of thought to guide you over. Yep. A powerful breath was captured by his mind, and it was a semi-artifact. A big seal. He was overjoyed. When he entered the Realm King continent, he was poor and poor. If he wanted to buy treasures containing the power of the starry sky, he had to be rich. Although after reaching the 8 tribulations realm, one epoch in his origin can give birth to tens of millions of primordial stones. But that is not enough. After finally accumulating tens of billions of primordial stones, when I asked to exchange for treasures containing the power of the starry sky, I learned that an ordinary one could not be exchanged. Because treasures containing the power of the starry sky, at least use starry sky spar to exchange. The starry sky spar is originally condensed from the starry sky. It is the hard currency of the stars. Only the god of the universe can condense. And it's cumbersome. Jian Wushuang didn't have a single one. So after seeing that half artifact, the bottom of my heart will be ecstatic. This semi-artifact can be sold for tens of billions of primordial stones. You can exchange for hundreds of star crystals. There are no treasures of the starry sky, and it is the same to absorb starry sky spar. Chapter 6147. Anyway, his basic power is very low. It's rising fast enough. Just do what you say, and as soon as your mind power moves, it guides the big seal to fly towards their position. At the same time, he also sent a voice transmission to Wu Li, and asked the other party to adjust his position, ready to the treasure. Anyway, young Master Honglong said that the treasure he got is his own, with the exception of his treasure. Wu Li was also overjoyed to hear that, but he didn't expect Jian Wushuang to have this ability. After changing positions with Hui Qing, he sat and waited for the treasure to fly. It's not that Jian Wushuang doesn't believe in Hui Qing, but that Hui Qing is not suitable for such things as turning around and grabbing treasures. Just when Wu Li and Hui Qing switched positions, the treasure actually disappeared. There was a terrifying aura left. That breath is definitely not a so-called monster, or left by a crack in time and space. He was guided around the cracks in time and space. No, there are still a group of people here. He immediately understood that someone just took advantage of the outside world to take advantage of the opportunity to come in. When Wu Li and the others heard it, they said in disbelief, "Brother Wushuang, don't scare me. Who is so capable to sneak in here?" In the outside world just now, young Master Honglong said that the universe can carry this formation. Who can come in here? Isn't coming in to die. Under the heavy money, Meng people came out. Meng people really came. Jian Wushuang's eyes were quiet, and Tan Ran voiced, "Just be careful. The strength of the person here should not exceed 50 million. 50 million. Wu Li resisted the shock and said, 50 million is not a lot, Who can stop it? Why don't we go? Me, the silent Huiqing said at this time. Just leave it to me in case of danger. Jian Wushuang was stunned for a moment at this remark, but a smile suddenly leaked out. I still think Huiqing can be trusted. Hearing this, Wu Li said with joy. I knew that brother Huiqing is the strongest. Come on, this is yours. In just a few breaths, Wu Li and Huiqing went back and forth. This makes many people feel strange. But before they could think about it, the surrounding monsters had quietly touched it. Be careful of those monsters. Young Master Honglong shouted angrily. This time, Wu Li was not too surprised. He took the initiative to shoot, and smashed the approaching monsters with one punch. Those monsters have more than 30 million divine powers. But at this time, Wu Li's divine power exploded, reaching about 40 million. The power of the subsequent monsters is similar, and there are very few monsters that exceed the power of 40 million. The crowd was quite settled. Each has a shot. Except for Jian Wushuang. Wu Li is the rise of killing. Most of the monsters were beheaded by him, as if comparing with Qing Xian next to him. But at this time, Jian Wushuang reminded him through voice transmission. Brother Wu Li, keep it. These monsters are attracted, and the monsters behind are demigods. Although he didn't do anything, his mind power has been observing these monsters. It felt something was wrong, and those monsters were all coming towards them. Apparently it was targeted, and the follow-up monsters have more than 45 million divine powers. One has to be careful. After Wu Li heard it, he hurriedly closed his fists and retreated behind the crowd. He covered his mouth with his fists and coughed dryly. The divine power is almost exhausted, and the remaining monsters will be handed over to you. Brother Wu Li has worked hard. These monsters are worthy of Brother Wu Li's shot. Young Master Honglong did not expect Wu Li to be so generous. He was stunned to kill a group of monsters, and only a few left. It's like a half-brother. Otherwise, why would you help him like this? Although Wu Li said, there is a problem. The divine power cannot be consumed so quickly. But young Master Honglong felt that Wu Li did not consume 30% or 20%. But I didn't know that Wu Li was just a warm-up. The life force he got in Danbao can be reclaimed from the sea, and even if it uses 30% or even half of it, it can be restored in an instant. It's serious compared to Elder Zhuge. I'm still far behind. At this time, Wu Li deliberately raised Elder Zhuge, stood beside him, and deliberately flattered. Elder Zhuge, let's talk about it because I think these monsters are too powerful. Is it low? Elder Zhuge didn't say a word, but with a light touch of his finger, he easily shattered several monsters. Wu Li didn't give up, and continued to raise his voice. Elder Zhuge's divine power is really not simple. He can smash these monsters with just a random shot, unlike me, which directly spent 20 to 30% of the divine power. And these monsters are too weak. They can't come to a demigod-level monster to train Elder Zhuge. The so-called demigod-level monsters only possess 45 million divine powers, but their combat power is not enough. The same divine power can also consume demigod-level monsters to death. Just as Wu Li's voice fell, behind Elder Zhuge, a demigod-level monster really appeared. The guardian at the southwest corner of the rear is Jian Wushuang, and an ordinary guard, whose divine power is only about 40 million. Not to mention Jian Wushuang. He immediately pretended to explode and directly cast the ancient transformation. Divine power increased to about 30 million. Help me. To enhance divine power is to escape. Seeing this, Wu Li also revealed a look of surprise and quickly shouted, Elder Zhuge, I'm going to save people. You stop that monster. At this time, another demigod-level monster appeared in front of him, which had been stopped by Qing Xian. When Elder Zhuge heard this, he could only grit his teeth. You can't be invisible. Wu Li went to save Jian Wushuang, the guard of young Master Honglong, but no one could save him. In case of his fall, young Master Honglong will only hate him. After tangled again and again, Elder Zhuge could only take action. Fly out. When passing by Jian Wushuang and which of the guards, he said viciously, It's all waste. This sentence happened to be heard by young Master Honglong, and his brows were also wrinkled. Wu Li easily rescued which of the guards. This warmed the heart of young Master Honglong. Suddenly I felt that the friends I had made were still easier to use than those old ministers. At least these people obey themselves. And they are not as arrogant as Elder Zhuge. Even going to save one's own people, one has to hesitate. Also ranting. After living for such a long time, the threshold of demigods has not been reached. And it is even more useless. Boom! Jian Wushuang was just rescued by Wu Li pretending to be, and then a strong breath broke out. Elder Zhuge fought with the demigod monster. Qingxian in front was also fighting with monsters. For a while, everyone could only stop. If it wasn't for Jian Wushuang, who secretly lured away a lot of monsters, at least 10 demigod-level monsters would be killed at this time. The other side of the canyon of time and space, the Lion King frowned and said coldly, "It's weird, why did these monsters turn around halfway? Normal, these monsters have no will." Shi Jiao explained aside, but was kicked fiercely by the Lion King. "Do I need you to remind me?" Chapter 6148. The Lion King was a little impatient, frowned and said, "Forget it, it's almost the same. It's time for us to take action, kill the rest, and rob the young master Honglong." "Yes." Shi Jiao, who got up from the ground, did not dare to hold grudges, but obeyed respectfully. They didn't know that all this was led by Jian Wushuang, just to draw them out. If you want to test them with monsters, Jian Wushuang will not give this chance. Dozens of demigod monsters really came, and Huiqing would definitely reveal his true power. When the time comes, he will scare the opponent away, or come back with precautions, which would be bad. The other party is also in the dark, so be careful. Be careful to make thousands of years. Within the range of Jian Wushuang's psychic power, several terrifying auras were quietly approaching them. As soon as he entered the range of his psychic power, he noticed the movement of the other party. Everyone, the fish is hooked. Everyone understands what this means. It was the person from young Master Honglong who was still foolishly dealing with those monsters. This time, it is not too much to keep the other party and go out to kowtow to him. If it wasn't for the beast soldier, he didn't have to find a guard for the other party. The key is a bit over the top this time. It happened to meet the Starfield bandits in ambush. That terrifying aura was exactly the same as the Starfield bandits that young Master Honglong said. It's just that the guy who Jian Wushuang expects is suspected of mastering the divine power of the starry sky. If he is, it can make up for his loss this time. Huiqing was the first to start accumulating gas. At the moment when the Starfield bandits approached, they took the lead and caught the opponent by surprise. The Lion King, who was the leader of the bandits, frowned, and found that Huiqing's divine power was no less than his, surpassing 50 million. It was just the collision of the broken station that knocked him back. A huge burst of breath. Young Master Honglong was also dumbfounded. It was only after seeing the Lion King that I understood. This time I was tricked. "Don't worry about those monsters, get out first," he responded very quickly. The sudden appearance of the bandits in the star field, coupled with the powerful divine powers of Huiqing and others, could not make him feel at ease. But now when I go back, it's too late. Starfield bandits are not alone. The leading Lion King was stopped by Huiqing, and the rest of the bandits rushed towards Elder Zhuge and Kaching Shangyang. For a time there was a scuffle around. The guard Qingxian shook off the monster and came to the side of young Master Honglong. At this time, she must protect the safety of the young master and cannot leave her body half a step. "Brother Wu Li, he is so strong." Young Master Honglong was also dumbfounded. In addition to Huiqing, Wu Li's divine power also reached the demigods. A wooden sword overturned several Starfield bandits. King Shenmu and Wu Zhua also have powerful divine powers of more than 40 million, and they can barely stop the bandits in the star region. Arcana and a divine body are not bad. However, Elder Zhuge was in trouble at this time. Not only did he have to deal with the demigod monster, but he was also besieged by 2 Starfield bandits. Only Jian Wushuang was the most relaxed, standing behind young Master Honglong. He had no intention of making a move. Instead, he is observing these Starfield bandits. The Lion King, headed by him, had a divine power of about 53 million, and he fought back and forth with Huiqing's future. The opponent cannot be in love. Otherwise, when young Master Honglong's father arrives, they will all be finished. Master Honglong, can you inform Lingzun? Jian Wushuang asked from the side. But seeing the embarrassed look on young Master Honglong's face, he realized that something was wrong. The two just looked at each other and said nothing. For fear disturbs the heart. Young Master Honglong immediately sent a voice transmission to the outside world for help, but found that his thoughts could not be transmitted through the token at all. This place is inherently chaotic in time and space, coupled with the partition of the formation. If you want to communicate to the outside world, there is only his special token. Now that the token is also isolated, I can only hope that my father can sense the movement here. He didn't know that the Lion King had already used a special secret technique to cover the space-time canyon in his formation. Now that the outside world can't get in, don't even think about going out. The great formation here is equivalent to adding a dowry to the Lion King. On the contrary, it will block people from the outside world who want to come in. It seems that they came well prepared. Jian Wushuang was still determined, at least with the combat power shown now. Huiqing alone could settle the other side. Nothing to be afraid of. Since you can't go, take the other party down. Huiqing, take him down. After Huiqing, who was entangled with the Lion King, heard about it, he stepped back half a step, and the light was bright. In the future, the body will be advanced again, from 50 million to 60 million. This terrifying divine power made Jian Wushuang speechless. Unexpectedly, the second-order future body created by Huiqing was so powerful. With 60 million divine powers, the Lion King was seriously injured in just one face-to-face encounter. Feeling the intense passage of the divine body, the Lion King was stunned. Who are you? You have 60 million divine power. Who I am has nothing to do with you. Huiqing didn't stop, and raised his hand to pat the Lion King again. The first time the Lion King was seriously injured a Khonshu. For the second time, the divine body was directly broken. It's over, the third time I will die. The Lion King fell into fear, and the golden armor was broken. With 60 million divine power, you can have a territory to become a lord in many star fields. When he is a star domain bandit, he does not dare to do anything to the existence of this level. This time he was planted. Their divine powers are just average. And it's okay to deal with a 9 tribulation realm like young Master Honglong. But if they encounter a powerful demigod, they will definitely be finished. The perfect plan, ultimately lost to divine power. Not reconciled. It seems that I still want to help your majesty. The Lion King's eyes moved, and he took out a token and smashed it directly. Huiqing also noticed the other party's actions and wanted to stop it, but found that it was too late, so he could only continue to attack the Lion King. But when his palm fell, the figure of the other party disappeared in an instant. It's a space-time order, he actually has a space-time token. Young Master Honglong exclaimed. The second outbreak of Huiqing just now was enough to amaze him. He didn't expect that the Lion King, a guy with only 50 million divine powers, would have time and space orders. It is a treasure that can break through time and space. Once it breaks through time and space, it can escape at will. Even if this place is a time-space canyon, it can leave quickly. He didn't have this kind of super treasure that could save his life, and he still heard his father say it once. Now it's the first time I've seen it. Fortunately, the other party used to escape. They are also safe. Huiqing was a little unwilling to see the other party escape. Don't look at how polite he is usually, but when he encounters this kind of starfield bandit who burns, kills, and loots, he will not show mercy at all. The Lion King ran away, but those black-clothed bandits who were left behind had no time-space order. Huiqing raised his hand and pointed out to directly kill the bandits in the star region. Just a finger and instantly kill. Chapter 6149. You must know that those bandits have 40 million divine powers. Well, Huiqing glanced in surprise at a scrawny, strange-looking star bandit who was able to block his finger. Just when he was about to make his second shot, he was stopped by Jian Wushuang. Keep your tongue. Only then did Huiqing stop. Starfield bandits come fast and die fast. Now there is only one left. Fine 9. There was no fear on his face, After realizing that he had kept his hand, he quickly stepped forward and respectfully said, "It will definitely benefit me to save my life." Benefits? Jian Wushuang smiled when he heard the words. And the other party was still sensible, so he asked, "Who used those treasures containing the power of the starry sky that you bought in Jialong City?" This is the most curious thing for him. As for why the other party has the idea of hitting the temporal canyon, he doesn't care at all. At this time, young Master Honglong also rushed forward, grabbed the opponent's neck and said coldly, "Also, who sent you here, dare to peep at my treasured place in Jialong Mountain?" This. Shi Jiu glanced at Jian Wushuang and young Master Honglong, and finally looked at Hui Qing. He is not a fool either and knows who is stronger. Seeing this, Kuqing Shengyang quickly appeased young Master Honglong. "Don't worry, let him speak slowly." Only then did young Master Honglong realize that he was a little rude, and slowly put down Shi Jiu, and said in a low voice, "Tell me everything you know, or you will know the consequences." Cough cough. Shi Jiu, after a few coughs, staggered. "Then shall I answer your question first?" At this time, the other party dared to pull with them. Jian Wushuang frowned. Although he felt that the other party was a little aware of the current affairs, there was no fear in the eyes of the other party, but rather sullen. A bad premonition appeared in his heart, and he winked at Hui Qing at the same time. If these Starfield bandits still have a backhand, they will solve it as soon as possible. Stop talking nonsense. Jian Wushuang frowned, and he wrapped the opponent in the center as soon as his thoughts moved. Shi Jiu didn't care, but when he felt the thought power, a trace of suspicion flashed in his eyes, and then he grinned. "The power of the starry sky? You are a boy with only 20 million in divine power. I can tell you, some things it's not good to know." At the moment when the mind power wrapped Shi Jiu, Jian Wushuang had no intention of paying attention to the other party's answer, because in the surrounding space, a pink mist actually rose. "Very poisonous." Jian Wushuang shouted, "Shrink your breath quickly, don't contaminate it." But his reminder was too late. Except for Hui Qing, who had been reminded early in the morning, they all took a half step back. The rest were all hit. Young Master Honglong was also taken aback, and he wanted to retreat, but it was already over. A pink bubble rose up on his face, spreading along his physical body, and the divine body also began to fester. This toxin is so powerful that even weak demigods will fall. Seeing this, Hui Qing wanted to step forward to help, but was stopped by Jian Wushuang. Such a terrifying poison, they don't even know what it is. If you rashly save people, maybe you will get in too. Hui Qing had just burst out with 60 million divine power, and the other party dared to plot against them. Obviously, he was very confident in his poison. Young Master Qing Xian, who was in charge of protecting Honglong, fell first, and he was the closest to Shi Jiu. This venom was emitted from Shi Jiu, which Elder Zhuge even widened his eyes. His eyes had lost their brilliance, and shouted unwillingly before he fell. "It's Cha Luohua. You are a Dugu." Pat. Elder Zhuge's physical body and divine body were shattered together, and the source also stopped working. After being poisoned, young Master Honglong used the treasure to forcefully support it, but he couldn't hold on for too long. When he heard Cha Luohua and Dugu, he fell into despair. Kaluohua. That is the most poisonous poison that can be ranked in the top 10 in the Realm King continent. Once the practitioners below the universe are infected, they will surely die. However, this poison has a special smell, and is difficult to get close to, unless someone can carry this poison. This is the case with Xiujio in front of him. The only person who can carry Kaluohua is Your Majesty Dugu. It is not that His Majesty Dugu can carry it, but one of his subordinates can carry Kaluohua. With this person, His Majesty Dugu plundered several star fields, and even the universe god couldn't do anything about him. The other person appeared here. So the person who paid attention to Zalongshan this time is probably His Majesty Dugu. Brother Wu Li. Before the fall of the young Master Honglong, he turned to look at Wu Li. From Huiqing's outbreak to Jian Wushuang's Tanding, he could see that what Wu Li said to him might not be a lie. They may really be the super geniuses in the god's star domain, or the disciples of the time and space gods with great backgrounds. Brother Honglong, What else do you have to explain? Wu Li couldn't bear to see the unwillingness on the other side's face. Brother Wu Li, help me with a message to my father. When young Master Honglong spoke, he felt his source tremble, and his entire body froze in place and couldn't move. Behind him, a sharp knife rubbed with venom pierced into his origin, shattering the last trace of his strength. This scene shocked Jian Wushuang. It's really going too fast. Shangyang, the guest of Zhalong Mountain, turned out to be a spy. Not only was he not poison, but he also took the opportunity to kill young Master Honglong and robbed the opponent's array compass. Not only Jian Wushuang, but Wu Li was also dumbfounded. And the fine 9. Haha. I didn't expect that the person your majesty said was you. Okay. Take me away quickly. The formation can't stop Zhalong Mountain Master. The person who responded to him appeared, and the mission was declared over. In fact, this is how it was originally done. It's all because the Lion King is too arrogant and wants to take down the space-time canyon alone. How can that be? Divine power is only in the early 50s, and he wants to take down the space-time canyon, which is too underestimated by Zhalong Mountain Master. Shang Yang played with the compass in his hand and just wanted to put it away, but his face was stunned. He ignored Shi Jiao, looked at Wu Li and shouted, "Next!" said and threw the compass to Wu Li. What? Wu Li took the compass easily. It was too late for Jian Wushuang to remind him. I saw the jade face bronze mirror in Shangyang again, and said loudly, "Everyone, please don't thank me, I'll go first." You! Shi Jiao was also stunned for a while, unable to understand what Shangyang was doing. He quickly communicated with His Majesty Duge through special means. The order that can be received is the same as the other party. The two looked at each other and took out the space-time order at the same time, then crushed directly. From then on, Jian Wushuang and others were left, standing stupidly in place. The people led by the young Master Honglong are dead betrayals. Only a few of them were left intact. Chapter 6150. Now holding the compass overwhelmed. Brother Wushuang, you are very clever. What do you mean by this? Wu Li was already dazed. First, Jian Wushuang stopped Hui Qing, leaving Shi Jiao behind. Then Shi Jiao killed everyone with Chaluo flower poison. Young Master Honglong was about to say something when he was killed by his own guest. When Shangyang got the compass, Jian Wushuang's purpose was very simple. It is to control the compass of the formation and to search for the treasures here. But the other party threw the compass to Wu Li, and he couldn't understand it. Now both of them crushed the time and space order and ran away. Don't care about them. Frame! Jian Wushuang let out a low growl, then laughed. A child's trick. I didn't expect to encounter this kind of thing just when I came to the Realm King continent. It seems that we can't leave today. Everyone reacted when they heard that they were framed. Focus on us, what do these people mean? The people of the Shimu King were all dumbfounded. They are just a group of time and space practitioners who have just entered the Realm King continent. How could he be framed? Wuzhua heard the words and asked, "Is it still Zama's?" No. Jian Wushuang shook his head and said no. Zama's is stronger than you think. If he knows our location, a cosmic will be able to kill us all. There is no need at all. Use this tactic against us. The key point is that Zamasu is not in Kaiwan continent at all. Jian Wushuang and the other practitioners of the northern time and space, in Zama's view, are fish and meat on a sticky board. As long as the other party becomes the king of the gods, they can easily wipe out the life of the northern time and space. There is no need to target them one by one. Every time the target in the northern time and space is to destroy the practitioners of the entire northern time and space. What are you doing? What? Jian Wushuang raised his brows and said, I guess someone wants to sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight, and leave this problem to us. Sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight. It should be His Majesty Dugu, that young Master Honglong said. If their strength was average, they might have died long ago. There is no use value. But Huiking's divine power has been exposed, and the second-order future body already has the top half-god combat power. It can be used as a test stone. And his hidden power, I am afraid, has also been exposed. Now as long as they go out with the compass, I am afraid they will face the anger of the Xiaolong Mountain Master immediately. There is yellow mud stuffed in the crotch, I can't tell. This place is a canyon of time and space. Time and space are disordered. It is impossible to reverse the time and space, and there is no way for the universe to come. Only he can prove his innocence. How can I prove myself? Young Master Honglong and his subordinates all fell, and not even the ashes were left. How to explain this? It's better, let's run away. Wuxia was a little scared. The Chaluo poison just now was really terrible. Not only him, but Jian Wushuang himself was afraid. It is said that the fall is a momentary thing. At the beginning, I stayed in the northern time and space for too long without a sense of crisis. After coming to the Realm King continent, I started to feel a little nervous, but after seeing the young Master Honglong, I felt that my divine power was not weaker than the other party, so there was nothing to worry about. Something happened now. For a while, no one could think of a countermeasure. Run away. It would be great if they could run. Anyway, from the God's Star region, even if Xiaolong Mountain Master believes that they are the murderers, he will not be able to trouble the God's Star region. But they can't run now. With the compass, you can find the exit. But at the current exit, I am afraid that the Master of Xiaolong Mountain has already been waiting. Going out is a tough fight. Although the opponent's divine power Sword Wushuang is unknown, it will not be less than 60 million divine power. He and Huiqing joined forces to solve each other's problems. The problem is that after solving the other party, what should the bandits in the Star region do while taking advantage of the fire? This is a conspiracy for Xiaolong Mountain Master. It's a naked conspiracy to them. Don't go. After making up his mind, Jian Wushuang explained. Going out now is also a fierce battle. Anyway, the compass is in our hands. It is better to stay. Even if Xiaolong Mountain Master refines a new token, it is not necessarily we can find us. And there are many cracks in time and space here, which are natural barriers. As long as we are patient and let the bandits in the star field sit still, we will be able to clear them. This was the best way he could think of. Anyway, there are still a lot of treasures here. And you can also go treasure hunting. Why not? When the bandits in the star field can't sit still, they run out to fight the master of Xiaolong Mountain, and they may be able to take advantage of the fishermen. Okay, it's a good plan. As soon as they heard that there was no need to go out to fight, Wuxia and Wu Li were the first to agree. Both of their divine powers are in the early 40s, and there is no great life-saving means. It is really difficult to go out. Rather, it is cumbersome. The Shenmue King is different. He has at least the Moyen Vine at the level of the Nine Tribulations realm, and there is a threshold for the two to cooperate with the demigod. But everyone agreed, and he had no objection. Huiqing listened to Jian Wushuang as always. Then he'll trouble brother Wu Li to manipulate the compass. He'll lead the way. He'll search for the treasures in this place first. Which Master Honglong was looking for a treasure, but it can quickly become a treasure of a demigod. They didn't care at first, but now that young Master Honglong is dead, all the treasures here are theirs. Just as Jian Wushuang and others went to search for treasures. Outside Xiaolong Mountain, a large group of Starfield bandits gathered in a dilapidated palace. Here are the Lion King, Shijiao, and Shangyang that Jian Wushuang and others are familiar with. Your Majesty, according to your instructions, the compass has been given to the guys in the God's Star territory. Shangyang bowed and saluted, reporting everything. Above the dilapidated hall, an arrogant man wearing a tattered armor had endless divine power in his eyes. Then just wait. When those guys come out, let Zongjing and Crow keep an eye on them. After an era, whether they do anything or not, we will go to level Xiaolong Mountain. After hearing this, everyone below said in unison, yes. Step on Xiaolong Mountain. Star domain robbers robbing treasures. Rather than treasure. His Majesty Dugu was also eyeing the treasure that Xiaolong Mountain Master had obtained. As for the Canyon of Time and Space, it is different, because the secrets contained in it are not as simple as floating treasures. Previously, he sent the Lion King and others to the Canyon of Time and Space just to verify his guess, and arrange the next time-space transformation array in the time-space canyon in advance. and you can enter the time-space canyon at any time. In this way, I am not afraid that the Xiaolong Mountain Master will block them with the great formation of the space-time canyon. Xiaolong Mountain. At this time, the whole city was on alert, and the news of the young master's fall in the canyon of time and space had spread. The furious Xiaolong Mountain Master gathered all the powerhouses at this time, and had reached the canyon of time and space. Chapter 6151. Naturally, the city must be on guard, so that no one steals the house. The great formation of the space-time canyon is far less complicated than Jian Wushuang and the others thought. Xiaolong Mountain Master will not be unable to enter, because there is no token. At the beginning of refining the big formation, he left behind. Only this backhand only he can enter. Enter alone. This risk is great. In the dark, he was able to kill all the men brought by his son, and even grab the compass. Obviously he came prepared. Coupled with the recent arrival of bandits in the Star region, this caused some concerns to appear in the heart of the Lord of Zelangshan. It's not that he is afraid that there are strong men ambush in the cracks of time and space. Instead, he was worried that the treasure he had been concentrating on hiding might have been discovered. This time, he came for the treasure he had found. If so, then he has to be careful. Standing at the entrance of the crack in time and space, Xiaolong Mountain Master is secretly sending news to the outside world. Being able to become a demigod of a lord is more or less related. Being able to invite the cosmic god to refine this great formation, it can be seen that his relationship with Xiaolong Mountain Master is not ordinary. Brother, have you found the murderer who attacked the canyon of time and space? Through the space-time token, this message was transmitted to a very distant star field. An ancient existence also opened his eyes. It is related to the bandits in the star field, and there is more than one universe behind it. When Xiaolong Mountain Master heard this, his expression was shocked. The bottom of my heart is even colder. More than one cosmic stared. His combat power in a demigod can be said to be the limit. If it is a digital demigod, he is not panic at all. But when he hears that it is a digital cosmic watching, he felt powerless. He couldn't help but sigh. That treasure, his demigod body, could not keep it after all. Don't give up. Although they dare to stare, they never dare to take action. You are a member of my Yinglong clan. With me, the universe gods dare not take action easily. At most, they will send some demigods to embarrass you. Don't let your guard down. If the same rank stole your treasure, then I can't help you. Yinglong clan. That is a famous ethnic group in the Realm King continent. There are rumors that there is a dragon. A true dragon at the level of a cosmic is many times stronger than a cosmic that ordinary practitioners become. The Lord of Xiaolong Mountain came from the Yinglong tribe. Therefore, it is possible to hold the cracks in this spacetime. At the beginning, he even invited the God of the universe to refine the formation outside the spacetime canyon. Without this background, it would have been snatched away by the Star Domain bandits long ago. If the cosmic god doesn't end, I have confidence. Xiaolong Mountain Master clenched his fists, feeling the boundless and violent divine power coming from his body. This divine power is extremely ferocious. The dark red breath came from all around. If Jian Wushuang felt this power, he would definitely be surprised. Because this power is very similar to the power of the beast god. Be careful with everything. If you can't carry it, abandon the space-time canyon, and return to the ancient dragon star field. Naturally no one dares to touch you. The Lord of Zelangshan shook his head gently, and said in a voice, No, I didn't intend to go back when I left. You're still angry about your bloodline, Hongyuan. Although you are from a red dragon, your bloodline belongs to the real dragon family. Don't be angry. This time, the Lord of Zelangshan did not answer. Instead, he silently put away the sound transmission token. Now that you understand everything behind it, there is no need for him to stay here. Whereas the canyon of time and space, it is impossible to run. What to do now is to sit firmly in Dragon City and wait for the gang of Starfield bandits to come. Among the demigods, he dare not say that he is arrogant to the entire Realm King continent, but in several nearby starfields, no one is his opponent. As for Jian Wushuang and others in the crack of time and space, Xiaolong Mountain Master didn't take it to heart at all. Being able to find out the details of Jian Wushuang and the others, naturally, there is nothing to be afraid of. And he has lived for such a long time. How can he be blinded by the methods of the Starfield bandits? He would never use Jian Wushuang and others to open a knife. But don't even think about leaving the rift in time and space alive. Just before Xiaolong Mountain Master was about to leave the canyon of time and space, his brows were wrinkled. The power of the beast god. He could easily feel the power of the beast from the canyon of time and space. And it's pure. That power was purer than that of his brother. Impossible, he exclaimed. The nearby subordinates all turned to look. Thought something happened. Seeing the panicked eyes of his subordinates, Xiaolong Mountain Master regained his composure. You are guarding here, and I will enter to check it myself. Originally, I was thinking of going back to Xiaolong Mountain first, because things here are not in a hurry. He just had to wait and see. But after feeling the pure beast power coming from the space-time crack, he couldn't help but ecstasy in his heart. The figure flashed and entered the crack of time and space. A mighty force is coming. Feeling the guidance from the power of the beast god, the Lord of Zelangshan approached Jian Wushuang and others at a very fast speed. This powerful force was soon discovered by Jian Wushuang. It's not because of the exploration of mind power, but because the same similar forces are attracting each other. Yep. Just after receiving a treasure containing the power of the starry sky, Jian Wushuang felt threatened. They have been searching for treasures in the cracks of time and space for several days. Because of his huge mind power, he can detect a wide range. So he quickly accepted all the treasures floating in the cracks of time and space. There are also many treasures containing the power of the starry sky, which naturally belong to him. As for the other treasures, they were all distributed to the Shenmu King and Wu Li. Hui Qing and Wuxia did not look down on these treasures. Although there is a treasure hunt once in the 100,000th era, some special treasures will appear every time. The value is also limited. The most special treasure this time is the treasure that young Master Honglong was looking for earlier. Just now Jian Wushuang used the power of the beast to expose himself. But also because of that treasure. It was a pool of blood that contained the power of a beast god. If you use the power of the beast to soak in it, you can cultivate the body. The power of the beast in the blood pool, if all absorbed, can increase the power of 10 million. Of course, it also depends on who absorbs it. If it is Jian Wushuang, his divine body has only 15 million divine power, and absorbing this blood pool can add tens of millions of divine power. It's a pity that his body is not the body of a beast god. The increased power of the beast does not come from the divine body, but from the treasure. Therefore, it is impossible to add divine power to him. The rest are the same. But this special treasure, even if you can't use it, you can sell it for a good price. This time it was not in vain. But now that he felt the strong power of the beast god, Jian Wushuang felt a little regretful. What's wrong? Wuxia found that the color of Jian Wudwa was wrong, and asked quickly. Chapter 6152. The strong power of the beast is approaching rapidly. It only takes an hour to get here. And here is already the core of the space-time crack. To be able to approach so quickly, it is either terrifyingly powerful, or the familiarity of this place has reached the point where it is exactly the same. In the entire territory of Xiaolong Mountain, there is only the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain who has such ability. Jian Wushuang's breathing was a little nervous, and he quickly reminded, someone is approaching us, and it is likely to be the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain. What? Hearing this answer, not only Wuxia, but also King Shenmu and Wu Li were stunned. Didn't you say he can't come in? That's just my guess. Jian Wushuang gritted his teeth and said. Besides, he didn't come in at the first time, either because he encountered obstacles in the outside world, and it has been cleaned up now, or because of that blood pool. The two guesses are still somewhat convincing. However, did not guess the point. Everyone who entered the cottage for the first time knew the background and details of the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain. But that doesn't blame them either, because even the son of the Lord of Zelangshan didn't know about it. Then what should we do now? Hui Qing didn't say much, but asked for countermeasures. There is always a solution to a problem. This is Hui Qing's style. Chaos is useless. But this time, Jian Wushuang had no choice. The Lord of Zelangshan can come in. What else can he think of? There is only one entrance here. There is one more entrance, to be precise. It's that huge space-time rift. But none of them dared to go in. Even if he is desperate with Xiaolong Mountain Master, he will not dare to go in. The time and space of the Realm King continent is extremely difficult to break. There is very little that the universal God can do. It is conceivable how powerful this time and space is. How much power do these people have? Rush into the crack of time and space, only one death. After everyone fell into a short silence, Jian Wushuang said again, "Let's get close to that space-time crack first. Wait for the other party to come. And explain it mainly. If it doesn't work, then fight." There's only one way. The Shimu King sighed slightly. Wu Li was a little embarrassed. This time, it was because of his problem that he wanted to help young Master Hong Long with a trivial matter, and then brought up the matter of the beast soldier. Who would have thought that he would encounter a Starfield bandit? And at a critical moment, young Master Hong Long fell. Go to that time-space crack first. In the entire space-time canyon, the largest crack is in the deepest part of the canyon. The treasures they searched for were also drifted from it. Wherever he went, because there was a crack in time and space, he didn't believe that the other party would dare to shoot too ruthlessly. While everyone was on their way, Jian Wushuang was also improving his basic divine power. The treasures he got are also enough to improve some divine power, so that it would be a waste of time to improve if he couldn't beat them when he got them. Taking this opportunity, he madly absorbed the power of the starry sky. A small blue flag was darkened in his hands in just an instant. Only 1.5 million more? This small flag is the treasure of the universe, at the top of the 8 tribulations realm. The power of the stars contained in it actually only added about 1.5 million to him. The remaining few are not as good as this one. Fortunately, there are a few more. Continuous absorption. Divine power also reached about 20 million. With the robbery armor, it is 25 million. But still too much. And the price is too high. So many treasures of the 8 tribulations realm universe have increased such a little divine power. His basic divine power wants to reach 30 million, or even 40 million. How much star power do you need? Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang Jiu has a headache. The primordial stone in his hand is no longer fragrant. Starry sky spar, he doesn't have it. Feeling powerless. After reaching the opening of the space-time crack, everyone was stunned. This is the first time I have seen this crack. It was 10 times stronger than the shock to them when they felt it. It has to be said that the power contained in this crack is many times stronger than the power of time and space they have ever seen. A place more terrifying than the abyss. How did you say it was formed? Hearing this question, Jian Wushuang couldn't help shaking his head. It is not difficult to make such a large space-time crack in the northern time and space. But it's a little harder to make time and space not heal. Divine power must exceed 30 million or more. At the beginning of their battle in the downstream time and space, many such cracks were created. The latter was repaired by the king himself. To the king's continent. Even if Jian Wushuang tried his best, he couldn't break the time and space. Not to mention, there is a gap in time and space that cannot be healed. Definitely a cosmic god, and an extremely powerful cosmic god, such as which Zamasu. This is the periphery of the god's star field. Maybe there was a big war in the beginning. For example, the starry sky secret realm, found by Wu Li and others, has also fallen to the universe god. Speaking of the secret realm, Jian Wushuang frowned. Perhaps there is a past that they don't know happened in the vicinity of this god's star field. Treasures such as the canyon of time and space were born, as well as the starry sky. But all this is very far away for them. Right now, how do you plan to deal with which Zelangshan Lord? The strong divine power shook the surrounding time and space. Soon a figure bathed in the waves of red divine power came to them. Don't ask. The other party is the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain. I have seen the Lord. The crowd did not hesitate, and when they saw the other party coming, They respectfully greeted him immediately. Soldiers first and then soldiers. Don't lose momentum. Can't even lose. The fall of young Master Honglong has little to do with them. You can't even throw the blame on them. But the Lord of Zolongshan doesn't think so. And he ventured into this place just to find the power of the beast god. Otherwise it won't come. Because that is so important. The practitioner who contains the power of the beast is purer than his brother's power of the beast god, and can already be comparable to the ancestor of Yinglong. His older brother is the god of the universe, and he is also an extremely powerful being among the gods of the universe. As for the ancestors of the Yinglong family, it is even more unfathomable. Even he only met once. Glancing at the crowd, he quickly locked his gaze on Jian Wushuang. He could feel that the power came from his Jian Wushuang's body. What about Honglong? Did you do it? Although it can be crushed, he did not directly kill people to win treasures. It was so exciting when he came up. And Jian Wushuang was also taken aback. But he didn't know that the Lord of Zolongshan had endured for a long time without taking action directly. This time, it was Wu Li who took the lead. And naturally he also stood up to answer. Senior, the matter of Honglong is not what we did, but the gang of bandits who entered Jialong City before, and they still have time and space orders. Chapter 6153. Before Wu Li could finish speaking, the Lord of Zolongshan snorted coldly. Time and space order? He didn't have many of those treasures, and he didn't give them to his descendants. Would you believe it? Wu Li also knew that his explanation sounded far-fetched, more like a perfunctory lie. But that's what happened. The two unremarkable demigods both took out time and space orders, and they all fled after losing. It's absolutely true. How dare I deceive the Lord when I wait for this kind of strength? After Wu Li finished speaking, he bowed and saluted. Jian Wushuang and the others held their breaths, waiting for the Lord of Jialong Mountain to speak. However, looking at the opponent's posture, it is difficult to go out safely today. If it was so far-fetched, even a 3-year-old would not believe it. Not to mention the Lord of Jialong Mountain. The atmosphere gradually cooled down, and killing intent was also revealed in the eyes of the Lord of Jialong Mountain. His eyes turned and looked at Jian Wushuang. Okay, I'll take your word for it for now. As soon as these words came out, not only did Jian Wushuang not feel relieved, but his heart became much heavier, because he could see the killing intent in the eyes of the other party. I just don't know what means to play with the people in front of them. Or what are you trying to do? Such a powerful divine power. If it was him, he would definitely not talk nonsense, and he would directly kill them. He wanted to see what the other party was up to. When Wu Li heard the other party talk so nicely, his face was overjoyed, and after getting up, he stamped his joy, and then said tragically, I am also very sad about the fall of Brother Honglong. Until he fell, I was still talking about finding that treasure. Otherwise I would have gone out to report the funeral long ago. This also explains why they didn't go out immediately. But Jialong Mountain Master has no interest in this at all. The fall of Honglong is not a blow to a powerhouse of his level. Because the previous plan to pass the throne was because he had reached a bottleneck. It has reached the perfection in the realm of calamity. The next step is to prepare for the divine tribulation. So I will pay a little attention to the younger generation. Those younger generations of his, I don't know how much has fallen. It's just that this time he is holding Honglong, so that the other party can guard his Jialong Mountain. Fall is fall. As long as he can become the god of the universe, no matter how powerful the younger generation can be, he can cultivate it. How could he ruin his big plans because of this little thing? Jian Wushuang also saw this and kept on guard. There must be some reason for finding them, instead of avenging their sons. I don't need to investigate the matter of Honglong, but among you, whoever used the power of the beast to stay for the moment, I can let you all survive. The power of the beast. After hearing this, Wu Li and the others all moved. Only Jian Wushuang used the power of the beast once before, and that was to absorb the blood pool. It took a long time for this to happen. They are still not out of the woods. Seeing this, Wu Li hurriedly accompanied Smiley, took out the pool of blood, and said with Smiley, Senior, you must have made a mistake. We are all humans. How can we have the power of beast gods? The power is because of this blood pool. And this is also the treasure that Brother Honglong is looking for. Since the senior is here, then this treasure will be handed over to the senior, which is to comfort Brother Honglong's spirit in the sky. Snapped. Wu Li just went to present the treasure, but the treasure in his hand was thrown away by the master of Xiaolong Mountain. This kind of treasure containing the power of the beast is nothing to him at all. With that little power, he wouldn't even look at it. If you master the power of beast gods, like young Master Honglong, you can add tens of millions of basic divine powers. But for the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain, who has reached the consummation of the demigod, it is difficult to increase by 10,000. How can you look at this kind of treasure? When Wu Li saw this, he knew that there was no way to get the lake, so he took a half step back and stopped talking. The rest are the same, clearly prepared to fight desperately. The Lord of Zalongshan was a little surprised. He didn't expect these people to be so united that no one thought about living a life. Although he didn't think about letting anyone go. But this little hope is generally not cherished. It seems that you are not ready to talk. The divine power of the Lord of Zalongshan directly surpassed 60 million. And its basic power. No need to use secrets. The basic divine power is already as high as 6,550. With a little use of the secret method, you can break 70 million. Jian Wushuang couldn't help swallowing. The pressure is too great. However, Hui Qing and the others did not panic at all. Hui Qing didn't talk about it. He might still have trump cards. But Wu Li actually behaved very calmly. This not only made Jian Wushuang suspect, but whether the other party also had a backhand. Wu's Danran was because he absolutely believed in him and Hui Qing. Shenmu Wang was a little nervous, but not flustered. This kind of scene is seen a lot. Facing Qi Jiuxiao at the beginning was no more exciting than this. But just when everyone was ready to face the threat, Jian Wushuang spoke up. And many more. Hearing this, the Lord of Zalongshan turned to look at Jian Wushuang. He already knew that the problem lay in Jian Wushuang, and he wanted Jian Wushuang to say it on his own initiative. Possessing the power of beast gods and so pure, he doesn't believe that Jian Wushuang is a human race, and is likely to be a super divine beast of the demon race. If he was captured, took out the complete source of the opponent, and transformed himself, the value would be infinite. This is also why the major groups of the demon clan treat those super divine beasts as treasures. Divine beasts are classified into levels, and the most heaven-defying divine beast, once it becomes the god of the universe, is almost invincible. It must be carefully protected and cultivated slowly. He doubted that Jian Wushuang was a supernatural beast living abroad, using his human identity as a pretense. So try carefully. Senior, Jian Wushuang didn't know what the other party was thinking, but took out a beast weapon and said, I got this treasure by accident. Using it, I can use the power of the beast god. The treasure he took out was the divine beast weapon, Eye of the Torch Dragon. The Candle Dragon also belongs to the dragon family, and it is also a top-grade divine beast in the dragon clan. When Xiaolong Mountain Master saw that eye hole, his expression couldn't help changing. You even have such a treasure? He couldn't believe it. Jian Wushuang actually took out the super treasure that made him think about the tomb. He also has one such treasure, but he knows that it is not complete. And that treasure is the beast soldier that Jian Wushuang has been looking for again and again. The last of the 9 beasts. Dragon Blade. He knew that the last beast soldier was in Xiaolong Mountain. But I didn't expect this treasure to be in the hands of the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain. And this Lord is still a treasure. Hobby Chinese Network. Chapter 6154. This made him a little confused. Although the divine beast weapon is somewhat special, a single piece of divine beast weapon is only at the level of the 7 tribulations. A demigod lord, take a fire stick as a treasure? Senior, this treasure is made by ordinary beast gods. This silenced him. However, the eyes of the Lord of Zalongshan were like that of a copper bell. And then he woke up suddenly. When I thought of the time when I obtained the dragon's blade, I also felt that this treasure was very ordinary. But when he used his true dragon power, he found that this magic dragon blade could actually strengthen his true dragon power. And there is a complete source of magic dragon inside. The source started at the level of the 7 tribulations, and was later elevated to the 9 tribulations by him. Originally, he had only 50 million divine power, but he was able to break out an attack of 70 million divine power, raise a full 20 million divine power. In the end, it was through the brothers in the group that the blade of the demon dragon was raised to the ultimate level. That is artifact. The source inside the dragon's blade has also reached the level of the universe god. The complete ultimate source, giving him enlightenment, is equivalent to understanding the source of a cosmic god. The follow-up divine power is also improved rapidly. The basic divine power has reached more than 60 million. Coupled with the increase of the demon dragon's blade, he is almost not afraid of any demigods. This is his bottom line. The dragon's blade was one of the most important treasures he had obtained in the canyon of time and space. There is one more thing, which is of little help to him now, but it will be of great help to the of the universe in the future. But unfortunately he can't use it now. But was watched. Because of that treasure, even if the universe knew about it, he wouldn't. But no matter how special it is, at least it can't help him now. Now the ability to enhance his divine power is still this demon dragon blade. Boy, where did you get this treasure? Lord Zilongxian couldn't help showing greed in his eyes, but he didn't it directly, but wanted to ask for more information. Yuan library, but his performance just now, even a 3-year-old child knows, is obviously peeping at the eyes of the candle dragon in Jian Wu's hands. Jian Wushuang paused for a moment and replied, Senior, this treasure was acquired by me inadvertently in the God's star domain. The weak strength at the beginning was helpful to me, but it is useless to me now, just now. It was also because I got that Feng Shuetan, and felt that the two had the same aura, so I wanted to try it out. His eyes were clear, and in fact he didn't tell too many lies. A powerful existence can see through lies at a glance. The Lord of Zilongxian stared at Jian Wushuang, and after watching for a while, he directly pinched the eye of the candle dragon in his hand with a hook. After feeling the origin, Zhalong Mountain Master can see that Jian Wushuang did not lie, because there is only a trace of the inner source. Although Jian Wushuang thinks it is complete, it is still far from it. Move slightly. The beast soldier candle dragon opened wide. There are candle dragon heart, candle dragon wings, candle dragon armor, and so on. The Lord of Zilongxian doesn't look down on these. He only cares about the source. That source is very weak, but there are endless opportunities for enhancement. This is enough. Jian Wushuang took the initiative to offer the beast soldiers, which made Hui Qing and others feel a little too humble. Actually can fight. At this time, Wu Li took the initiative to voice transmission and said, Brother Wushuang, this is your treasure, so you gave it away like this? Obviously he felt a little weird. When Jian Wushuang was still an emperor, Wu Li knew that this treasure of Jian Wushuang could increase the power of beast gods. With this treasure, Jian Wushuang shined in the emperor's period, and the entire 16 kingdoms of Qingqiao were raised. No head. The name of the invincible emperor, or the name of the invincible Daojun, has a relationship with this beast soldier. It's really unreasonable to give it away like this. Jian Wushuang gave a wry smile, and Tan Ran voiced, If I don't take it out, he will do it right away. So what I still have? Wu Li was about to reveal his trump card, but saw Jian Wushuang shook his head. The whole card is not used at this time. Jian Wushuang has his own plans. He knew that there were still star-field bandits peeping in the dark. If you fight against the Lord of Zhalong Mountain at this time, it will only allow you to reap the benefits of fishing. It is better to give the treasure to the other party first, preserve your own strength, and hide your own strength. Let both parties not know their true power. When the Starfield bandits and Zilongxian lords are fighting, they will attack from behind. This is not done. Now let's see what the Lord of Zilongxian has to say, if he really wants to do it. There's no way around that. It's the best policy not to act now. Also the best option. The Lord of Zilongxian held the eye of the candle dragon, and most of the doubts in his heart disappeared. But for this kind of treasure, he would not stop there. Jian Wushuang and others, since they are useless, there is only one way left. But just as he was about to make a move, in the canyon of time and space, it began to vibrate. One after another, the breath continued to rise. The formations around him began to shatter. This is... The heart of the Lord of Zolongshan shook. He didn't know that his own time and space canyon Akanshu Calm had previously been banned by the Lion King and others, and this prohibition was a time and space formation. A large array that can be arranged in the cracks of time and space. From the hand of a cosmic god. Haha, Brother Hongyuan, long time no see. An arrogant voice sounded from behind. Jian Wushuang, and the others immediately saw the face of the person who came. In the turbid space, a burly figure walked step by step, and every step made the time and space vibrate, and there were thunders in the cracks around. It's you. When the Lord of Zolongshan turned his head, he had already seen the face of the other party. Roland, a disciple of the Luo family in the Silver Blue Star region, a demigod powerhouse. And he is a very powerful demigod. It can be said that he is the most powerful demigod in the entire Silver Blue Star region. The status is only weaker than the 4 cosmic gods. The Luo family was a family created by a cosmic god, but the actual controller is Roland in front of him. In addition to him, several powerful demigods descended around him. It seems that it is not a Starfield bandit. It turned out to be you. Although the Lord of Zolongshan was a little surprised, he was not too surprised. The original information was the demigod powerhouse. Although the background is the use of Star Region bandits, but not all Star Region bandits. Because of his fat, the Star Region bandits can't eat it. And those big families also have to face. Just use the identity of the Star Bandit as a cover. Dress up in wolf skin to do the wolf's way. Jian Wushuang could also see that these people were not in the same group as the previous Star Territory bandits. Seeing the other party's appearance, my heart is not only relieved. I originally thought that I would have to deal with it for a while. But I didn't expect it to be so smooth. It was a seamless connection. Wu Li, when they fight, stand on the side of the Lord of Longshan. Chapter 6155. Jian Wushuang explained it first, so as not to wait on the wrong team. His treasures are still where the Lord of Zhalong Mountain is, so he naturally stands with each other. Wu Li and others nodded and gathered together, preparing to watch the next battle. The Lord of Zolongshan glanced at everyone, frowned and shouted angrily. A group of dirty ants, get out of my place. The voice just fell. The demon dragon's ninja in his hand erupted, and the divine power swept through the cracks in the surrounding time and space, directly shaking the surrounding demigods back to the surroundings. The powerful divine power made Jian Wushuang and the others feel ashamed. Fortunately, the method just now was to bypass them. Wu Li frowned when he saw it. Obviously his cards were not enough to deal with such a scene. Little guys, hide behind me. The Lord of Zolongshan turned his head and glanced at Jian Wushuang and the others, then jumped out directly, and a black shadow went straight to Roland. Such a powerful power has reached 70 million divine power. Roland also raised his brows when he saw it, swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and had to push it up. Now he regrets it a little. I regret not listening to the words of those Star Domain bandits. According to the plan of the Star Domain bandits, they wanted to let the Lord of Zolongshan Chong Jian Wushuang and others do it to test the strength of both sides. The previous outbreak of Huiqing, 60 million divine power, made the bandits in the Star region very jealous, thinking of taking advantage of the fishermen. But after seeing Jian Wushuang voluntarily handing over the treasure, Roland couldn't sit still. This time, he took action against Zolongshan, and the treasure he snatched was of great importance. The 4 cosmic gods of the Silver Blue Star region highly value this action. There are also several universe gods on the side of the Star Bandit. So this matter has to be quick and accurate. There is only one treasure. There are many gods in the universe, so it's better to start first. Outside the territory of Zhalong Mountain, the demigod Your Majesty Dugu, headed by the Star Bandits, is watching the battle in the Canyon of Time and Space through the ban. The strength of the Lord of Zhalong Mountain was indeed as powerful as they had guessed. As soon as you make a move, it's a tough move. Roland and others, headed by the Silver Blue Star region, have already lost many demigods. You must know that Roland's demigod power is more than 55 million. Originally intended to form a formation to trap the lords of Xiaolong Mountain, but they were killed one by the lords of Xiaolong Mountain. Even if a large formation is formed, the divine power exceeds 65 million, but it is still unable to stop the lord of Xiaolong Mountain. Roland, headed by him, with 68 million divine power, exploded to the limit, and he couldn't even stop the lord of Xiaolong Mountain. At this time, he anxiously sent a voice transmission to His Majesty Dugu, wanting the other party to end. Tsk tisk. His Majesty Dugu heard the sound transmission, but shook his head and smiled bitterly, mocking himself. These idiots really don't take Hong Yuan as a human being. As a starfield bandit, His Majesty Dugu spreads across several star fields. Been so happy for so many years. First, because the background is very strong, no less than the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain Hong Yuan. The second is because his information is very accurate. Please report that Hong Yuan's divine power exceeds 70 million. Others don't believe it, he believes it. Because I have dealt with the Lord of Zalongshan very early, I know the character and details of the other party. A red dragon, mythical beast of the dragon family. Hong Yuan is a mid-grade divine beast. The basic divine power exceeds 60 million, and the divine power in the peak state is definitely above 70 million. So he will be careful. He had waited for Jian Wushuang and others to try it out before. But Jian Wushuang's clothes were soft behind him, which he didn't expect. Then Roland and others went to the front line, all in his precise plan. Your Majesty, Roland can't stand it anymore. If he doesn't take action at this time, Zongjing may start the final ban and destroy the entire space-time canyon. Xiao Jiu's weak voice resounded in the hall. His Majesty Dugu frowned, turned to look at Shi Jiu, and said coldly, "Are you threatening me? You can think so." Shi Jiu's remarks made Dugu's subordinates dissatisfied. The Lion King immediately stood up and wanted to teach Shi Jiu a lesson, but was stopped by His Majesty Dugu. Go on. A Shi Jiu with a divine power of less than 50 million can't make any waves. But the people behind him are not simple. Shi Jiu looked up at His Majesty Dugu and said sternly, "My master said that to deal with Hong Yuan, Roland must be there. If Roland dies, this time the plan will fail. It seems that you and Zongjing are very close." His Majesty Dugu moved his neck, slowly stepped down from the throne, came to Shi Jiu's side. His arm was deep, grabbed the other's neck, and moved Shi Jiu. Referring to his eyes, he said in a cold tone, "Next time, calculate my plan again. I don't need the treasure, but your lives must be kept." To be able to hang around for so long. There is one more important thing about His Majesty Dugu. That is strength. His combat power also exceeds 70 million. There are 3 super demigods in the plan to level Xiaolong Mountain this time. One is Roland, who is now seriously injured. He is a demigod powerhouse from the Silver Blue Star region, and naturally belongs to the Silver Blue Star region. The second is His Majesty Dugu on the side of the Star region bandits. The last one is the owner of Shi Jiu. It is also the master of the refining ban. Zongjia Tianjiao. A Khonshu. Calm in the northern star field of the entire King continent, a famous demigod powerhouse. From the Kuanping family of the demon clan. Zongdrai. His Majesty Dugu let go slightly and shook Shi Jiu away. Tell Zonggan to come in together, stop playing tricks, and force Hong Yuan back to the dragon clan in a hurry. No one can do anything by then. Shi Jiu got up, showing a respectful look. Don't worry, Your Majesty. I am the master of sound transmission. Because if he doesn't go again, Roland is really going to perish. In the Canyon of Time, the humming of divine power was deafening. Jian Wushuang and the others stood in the back honestly, not daring to breathe. Too strong. This is the strongest they have seen since they came to the Realm King continent. The divine power that the Lord of Zalongshan had just burst out was 72 million. And he can see that the other party has not reached the limit, or the peak has not yet been reached. Demigods are so strong. Maybe they don't understand, but Wu Li has been in the Realm King continent for many years. He couldn't help but take a deep breath and exclaimed, "The Lord's divine power. I am afraid that in the entire northern star field of the King continent, can be ranked in the top 10, such a powerful divine power. If the universe does not appear, he is undefeated. Of so exaggerated? Jian Wushuang couldn't help exclaiming. If so, what about his beast soldier? Don't get the beast magic weapon in the opponent's hand by then, but instead put one in. Calculate your own divine power now. Jian Wushuang did not dare to make a move rashly. Continue to wait for those star domain bandits. He knew more than one group of people staring at this place. His own divine power now has 25 million. To display the super eternity change, it is 50 million. Using the blessings of the Yuanyuan dojo again, it would be difficult to break through the 7 capitals. Chapter 6156. His origin is only at the level of the 8 tribulations, and the increase of 50 million divine power is exaggerated. If it is an increase of 40 million divine power, it can only be increased by half. That is 20 million divine powers. But if it is 50 million divine power, it is very difficult to increase it by 40%. He made a rash move and would not win. Hui Qing blinked and said firmly, if he didn't hide his divine power, I should be able to resist. Resist? Wu Zua hurriedly came over and asked, little brother Hui Qing, don't be foolish at this time. My 70 million divine power. It's not that I don't believe you. You just broke through the 9 tribulations. How long? Okay. Jian Wushuang interrupted everyone's concerns and said, isn't this over yet? As soon as he finished speaking, the time and space around him shook again. 2 terrifying auras came at the same time. With it came dozens of powerful demigods. Among them are familiar breaths, such as Witch Lion King and Shijiao. The divine power of these 2 people is average, but they have a lot of means, and they can't be careless. As for the 2 terrifying auras, Jian Wushuang felt that breathing was a little difficult and said in surprise, come on, they are our saviors, and they are not weak lords of Zhalong Mountain. Yep. After carefully examining one of the breaths, he even frowned. The power of the stars. He was all too familiar with that breath. This time a real big man has come. Don't wait for them to react. The Lord of Zalongshan was already in front of them. Roland was seriously injured and crawling in the void. Zonggan. The Lord of Zalongshan leaked an unbelievable look, stared at the blue figure and exclaimed, you are a super mythical beast, and you have mastered the power of the starry sky, and you want to swim in this muddy water? Super mythical beast, the power of the starry sky. No matter which one you stand on, it's all on the pre-order list of the super strong. Both stand. That is absolute super genius. Before a demigod, he would definitely be carefully protected by his family. After demigods, after they have the ability to protect themselves, they usually go to the secret realm of the starry sky, or go to some dangerous places to find opportunities. Now it is mixed with the Starfield bandits. The Lord of Zhalong Mountain, who belongs to the dragon family, naturally knows that the identity of the other party is extremely noble, and he is extremely surprised. After Jian Wushuang heard it, he didn't understand, but seeing the surprised look in the eyes of the Lord of Zalongshan, he also knew that the other party was not easy to mess with. The strength and background are the same. Just do your friend a favor. If you are interested, you can give me the treasure directly. For your brother's sake, I can compensate you for some treasure. Zhong Qian's arrogant appearance did not make Hong Yuan feel any discomfort. Because the other party has this ability. Zonggan, I have no grievances with you. Do you really want to force me? Hong Yuan was not afraid, because of the other party's words. He is also confident. With the dragon's blade in hand, he is not afraid of even a super divine beast. It's just the power of the starry sky that makes him a little jealous. Moreover, this place is a time-space canyon. Once the fight begins with their divine power, this place may be destroyed. I'm not haggling with you, answering my questions. Don't think about it. That means there is no need to talk. Zonggan was no longer talking nonsense, and shot directly. Boom! A loud noise exploded, and the huge Kuimping body appeared. The blue arc flashed, and the divine power surged to more than 7,550. Hong Yuan took a deep breath and rushed forward. The figure flashed, and the deity also leaped. A huge red dragon soared into the sky. Face Kuempeng, the mid-grade mythical beast, faces the super-mythical beast. And it is also a super-mythical beast that has mastered the power of the starry sky. This scene made Jian Wushuang and others completely lose the idea of participating in the war. Already thinking about going back. It's just that there is a super strong man next to him who didn't shoot, but kept staring at them. Can't even run. Jian Wushuang and the others could only avoid each other's eyes. But the more he avoided, the more unscrupulous his eyes were. Is that the little bald donkey? His Majesty Duge frowned and stared at Hui Qing. It's him. I don't know what secret method he used, and his divine power has soared to 60 million, and he is not at his peak. The Lion King replied respectfully, Little Book Pavilion app. It's kind of interesting. Zhonggan doesn't seem to need me anymore. After he gets the treasure, I'll go to fight with him. Just now I have time to meet him. The throne shook, and His Majesty Dugu immediately appeared in front of Hui Qing. Jian Wushuang couldn't help shouting, Be careful. Still a bit late. His Majesty Dugu didn't give them a chance to breathe at all, and immediately took action as soon as they arrived. Hui Qing didn't have time to display his future body. Directly captured by the opponent, he grabbed Hui Qing's head with one hand. Isn't that exaggerated? His Majesty Dugu said with increasing force. Hui Qing's face was so painful that she couldn't get rid of it at all. In this situation, Jian Wushuang was unbearable, and broke out immediately. Super eternal change. The mighty star power exploded in an instant. Breath vibrates. Even Zhonggan, who was fighting with the Lord of Zhalong Mountain, looked at Jian Wushuang in a daze. The power of the stars? This is an extremely special power, and there are very few practitioners who can master this power. The Lord of Zalongshan couldn't help but exclaimed, He actually mastered the power of the starry sky. Before, he didn't take Jian Wushuang in his eyes at all. He just thought that the other party was a stinky boy with better luck. Unexpectedly, he has mastered the power of the starry sky, and somehow the other party's divine power has doubled. From 25 million, directly to 50 million. His Majesty Dugu, who was holding Hui Qing's head, was also stunned, but he was surprised that Jian Wushuang had mastered the power of the starry sky. Although he was surprised, Jian Wushuang's divine power reached 50 million, and it was still not enough. Is that the power? King Shenmu heard the figure move and shouted angrily, And me! Magic Cloud! An angry shout. Demon Cloud Tongue appeared and Shenmu King was completely integrated into one. Magic Cloud change. After the integration of the complete Shenmu King, the divine power has also reached 50 million. Friend Wushuang, I'll help you. And I. Wu Zhua also broke out completely, using 10 times the World King Fist, and the divine power also exploded to 50 million. Wu Li looked around, and found that he was the only one left. But his divine power is not 50 million. I also have a backer. Wu Li gritted his teeth, looked at His Majesty Dugu and said viciously, It's not enough, they all have to die. His madness shocked Jian Wushuang. The rest had 50 million divine powers, and only Wu Li was left. Jian Wushuang was stunned for a moment and persuaded, Brother Wu Li. Don't say it, I'm going out today. Wu Li took out a wooden token, crushed it directly and shouted angrily, Come out. Pat. Sawdust drifts away. After a few breaths. Nothing has changed. Chapter 6157. Wu Li was also stunned, feeling a little embarrassed and coughed dryly. Wait for me, I really have something behind. Jian Wushuang looked at it with a wry smile, not knowing how to say it. His divine power is more than that, and he has not yet used the Starry Sky Dojo. Just when he hesitated, the canyon of time and space shook. The ancient breath also fell from the sky. An extremely terrifying figure faintly appeared in the void. That figure once brought endless fear to Jian Wushuang and others. Back then in Wanlu Shenmu, he was chased and killed by the opponent all the way, leaving a lot of trauma. Even seeing it now, I can't help my legs trembling. That terrifying sense of oppression was on the same level as Broly. Qi Juxiao. Hui Qing and Wu Zui didn't know. But Jian Wushuang and Shenmu Wang are clear. Isn't Qi Jiuxiao taken away by Dan Bao? The king Shenmu asked in surprise. Why is it where you are? Seeing Qi Jiuxiao coming, Wu Li breathed a sigh of relief, and then explained. Dan Bao is afraid that this time will be dangerous, so he lent Qi Jiuxiao to me once. But there is also a drawback. He doesn't distinguish between friends and enemies. Be careful. Careful? How strong is he? If it was before, they might be overwhelmed with fright. But now that they have 50 million divine power, can they still be afraid of a Qi Jiuxiao? Back in the northern time and space, Qi Jiuxiao had 30 million divine powers. That is already the peak. How strong can it be? Even if it is the first group under the universe god, he is invincible. Wu Li's voice fell silent. Jian Wushuang immediately burst into the source, and the divine power directly approached 70 million. A flying kick directly kicked His Majesty Dugu off the throne, pulled up Hui Qing's figure, and started to retreat. It is even more willing to display the three-shock universe. With everyone back to the furthest, only Qi Jiuxiao and His Majesty Dugu were left. His Majesty Dugu, who was kicked over, was extremely shocked. Not Qi Jiuxiao, who was summoned by shock, but marveled at Jian Wushuang's divine power. After doubling it, it could increase by another 20 million. He had never encountered such a secret technique before. He has only heard of the frozen demon race, who can improve such a strong divine power, without a single change. But that group is almost extinct. And the appearance of Jian Wushuang just now has not changed. After realizing that Jian Wushuang had run away, he turned to look at Qi Jiuxiao. I don't know if I don't see it. I was startled when I saw it. This is the giant clan. The first group of stars. There may not be many in the entire Realm King continent. It is said that in the northern time and space, Jian Wushuang encountered no more than 10 giant gods. This ratio is huge. Bigger than a super beast. Some practitioners have never seen a giant in their lives. His Majesty Dugu has walked in so many star fields, and he has only seen it once. The giant clan he encountered was just an ordinary Nine Tribulations realm, with less than 50 million divine power. Just breaking through not long ago, and it was still under siege at the time. But the giant clan that rescued the giant clan, the master of the universe of the Nine Tribulation realm, was too powerful. Even beyond his cognition, the strongest of the many cosmic gods he has ever seen is definitely the cosmic of the giant race. At this time, seeing Qi Jiuxiao's volatile breath, he couldn't help but feel tight. Giant god race? How can there be a giant god race here? Hongyuan and Zhonggan, who were still fighting, also stopped. Looking at the giant clan powerhouse appearing in front of him, he was also stunned. They can't afford this. Zhonggan, who has a lot of knowledge, knows that the giant god race may not be so conspicuous in the Realm King continent. That is because there may not be 100 giants of the giant god race in the Realm King continent. It's hard to be conspicuous. Moreover, 90% of the giant gods in this number are the masters of the universe. There are no more than 10 cosmic gods. But even so, the combat power of these 10 cosmic gods can almost sweep the entire Realm King continent. Unless those innate gods come. For example, the Kaiju god, or Zamasu, or the great Kaiju kind of character. The universe among the practitioners is not an opponent at all. Although his background is very tough, he has to be weighed when he encounters the giant gods. Your Excellency is a strong man from the giant temple? Zhonggan stopped and asked tentatively. The giant god temple is a large hall left by the giant god race in the Realm King continent, which has the opportunity to give the giant god race. As long as the giant gods who reach the Nine Tribulations realm can get to the giant temple, they can go to the starry sky, or get the chance, and continue to stay in the king's continent. But Qi Jiuxiao is different. He was brought from the starry sky by Babitadai, first to the northern time and space, and then to the god's star field by Danbao after recovery. And here it is today, facing Zhonggan's question. Qi Jiuxiao's eyes turned, and he couldn't understand at all. He's like a lunatic. With a clenched fist, his divine power rose sharply. Although he has a physique similar to Broly's, he doesn't have the unlimited growth potential of Broly. Divine power exploded. And it didn't stop until the breakthrough reached 80 million. This move made Zongan couldn't help but take a deep breath. He can be ranked in the top 10 in the Northern Star region of the Realm King continent. But there is no divine power of 80 million. After Qi Jiuxiao broke out, they were not given a chance to continue talking, shot directly. Still as crazy as ever. Your Majesty, Dugu is stupid. Before he had time to improve his divine power, he was seriously injured by a punch. Zongan was not much better, and his continuous resistance made his divine body unstable. Forcibly improving is not good. You can only hold on to your divine power and resist it with difficulty. The most unlucky one was Roland from the Silver Blue Star territory, who was torn to shreds by Qi Jiuxiao. Fall on the spot. The Lord of Zhalong Mountain, Hung Yuan, took the opportunity to retreat. Hold your breath, restrain your divine power, and prepare to get fat. There are too many strong people coming this time. If you don't go, you really have to stay here. His Zhalong Mountain could no longer stay, and he could only leave the place with his clan. It's just a pity that this space-time canyon, a place where treasures are constantly born. Even if I leave, I won't leave it to you. The figure of the Lord of Zalongshan kept flying high. There is also an extra token in his hand to manipulate the big array. He's going to destroy this place, or to repair the cracks in time and space. Before the destruction, he turned his head and glanced at Jian Wushuang and others, and he had no plans. These people surprised him too much. First, Jian Wushuang took out the beast soldier, and then Jian Wushuang exposed the power of the starry sky. The divine power has risen to 70 million, but he is willing to give him the beast divine weapon. Either the other party can really endure it, and feels that the beast magic weapon is just an ordinary treasure, or have plans for him. There must be a picture. It's just that he didn't pay attention to each other. Now another giant has been released, and he looks like a lunatic. Unconscious giants. He really can't be bothered. Go! Kacha crushed the token. With a flash of his figure, he wanted to leave the canyon of time and space directly. Chapter 6158. The surrounding time and space, starting from this moment, gradually collapsed. The Lord of Zalongshan was a little surprised. This was the first time he had activated this ban, and he didn't know what was going on. I thought about leaving quickly, but before he could leave, a figure appeared in front of him and stopped him. If you look closely, there are two. There is also a monk-like figure. Needless to say, it was Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing. Lord, you seem to have taken something you shouldn't have. Jian Wushuang slowly stepped forward, and his divine power was shocked, directly reaching 70 million. He hasn't burned the divine body yet. The beast god soldier is right in front of you, and whatever you say today will let the other party stay. Who are you? The Lord of Zalongshan would not be caught without his hands. Although his divine power had dropped a lot, he still had more than 70 million, and he was not afraid of Jian Wushuang. Just jealous of the identity of the other party. Jian Wushuang sneered. Just try and you'll know. He knew that the other party would not let go easily. Only one battle. Clang. Draw the sword directly. His strongest means is the Starry Sky catalog. As soon as the sword is drawn, it is the 5th sword of the Starry Sky catalog. Time and space reincarnation. A huge sword shadow fell from the sky. The terrifying source of connotation, if compared to divine power, exceeds 75 million. The Lord of Zalongshan couldn't believe it. It's too late to regret now, so I can only bite the bullet and take this sword. Time and space intersect with reincarnation, sweeping the surroundings. The force of the shock shone on the face of the Lord of Zhalong Mountain. His divine body was distorted, and he was obviously invincible. Read novel. The sword shadow passed through, and the divine body of the Lord of Zhalong Mountain was shattering. Holding his chest with one hand, he panted and said, "You've already been eyeing the dragon's blade?" Jian Wushuang nodded sullenly. "Hand over it, I can spare your life." His purpose is the beast soldier. It's that simple. As long as you give him the beast magic weapon, everything is easy to say. He didn't even need to say anything. He immediately turned his head and left. Take people to the Silver Blue Star field to explore the secret realm of the starry sky. rather than wasting time here. Don't think about it. The Lord of Zolongshan snorted coldly. The dragon's blade was his most important treasure, and it was impossible to hand it over. Otherwise it would be equivalent to breaking his path to the universe god. Swish! He flipped his hand and took out a space-time order, and said coldly, "If you want a beast soldier, go to the Dragon Clan to find me." This time, he decided to drop everything and return to the Dragon Clan. Concentrate on practicing until the god of the universe leaves the customs. At that time, adding the treasure he got, after reaching the universe god, he is also a super existence among them. All figured out. Why should you delay your great future, because of some small things? This time, even Zhonggan was dispatched for that treasure. He knew it was the same wherever he ran. Better to go back to the tribe. After Jian Wushuang saw the time and space order, his heart was also cold. He forgot about it. The other party has time and space orders. You can run away anytime. This is not the northern time and space. He can block the time and space at will. For a time, he was also in a hurry. Hasten to strike again. Want to stop the opponent? The Lord of Zolongshan laughed indifferently and said, "It's too late." Kacha. Crushing the token, a hole appeared in time and space. Seeing that the other party was about to flee, Jian Wushuang had mixed feelings in his heart. He urgently needed the beast magic weapon to improve his divine power. Otherwise, how would he face the threat of Metal Life and Shilu? But he had seen the power of the space-time order. A little excitation. Only the universe can stop it. Or arrange a large formation to block time and space in advance. Just when he revealed his unwillingness, Hui Qing next to him reminded, "Brother Wushuang, it's not over yet." At this time, when Jian Wushuang looked at the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain again, he also found something different. It was obvious that he could no longer feel the breath of the other party. But he could see that the other party was still in the crack of time and space, not far away. And that rift is constantly spreading. This is... Jian Wushuang exclaimed. How did time and space become like this? The entire space-time canyon is undergoing tremendous changes. His Majesty Dugu and Zhonggan who fought Qi Jiuxiao also felt this change. The cracks around it continued to expand. Soon this place will collapse, form a huge black hole. By then they'll all be dead. Jian Wushuang, who had just entered this place, did not know about this situation. I thought it was a special place here, and stopped the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain. Then he used his sword again, and tried to attack the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain. However, he found that his time-space reincarnation sword could not enter the space-time crack at all. Naturally, it would not threaten the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain. I'm here to see, how long can you hide? Jian Wushuang used his sword again. Unexpectedly this time, the Lord of Zolongshan came out of the crack himself, just to resist the sword. The Lord of Xiaolong Mountain, who was seriously injured, was hit by a sword again, and his body was completely shattered. Yep. This time Jian Wushuang was stunned. He didn't expect that the other party would take the initiative to come out and die. With one sword, the opponent's life was completely killed. That's it. Wu Li and the others flew over, and when they saw the Lord of Xiaolong Mountain, who had turned to ashes, they all leaked surprised eyes. Don't worry about it, clean up, let's withdraw. Jian Wushuang took the treasures left on the ground into mustard seeds, and wanted to leave with everyone. But when they turned around and looked around, they found that all around were cracks in time and space. Can't go. His Majesty Zhonggan and Dugu, as well as those Starfield bandits were also dumbfounded. You can't even use the space-time order. Can't escape. Sitting still. There is also the threat of Qi Jiuxiao. Escape and can't escape. Done. Damn. Zhonggan shouted angrily, and began to take out his cards. The divine power has also approached 80 million, which is the life-saving means given to him by the ancestors. At this time, all of his brains were used, and he was able to suppress Qi Jiuxiao for a short time. But the cracks around it kept spreading. Space is also shrinking. They didn't dare to enter the crack. They could only get close to each other. The scope keeps shrinking, soon to be thousands of miles away. Qi Jiuxiao's figure of 10,000 feet can attack them without moving. Wu Li, are you sure you can't put him away? The Shenmue king looked at the incomparably majestic Qi Jiuxiao in despair. He didn't want to face this monster again. But now the space is too small for them to shrink their size, so they can only fight against it. It's not even a threat. In the face of Qi Jiuxiao, Jian Wushuang has the means to save his life. But how to get out? He also found that Zhonggan and others did not dare to step into the crack. Obviously afraid of the cracks in time and space. Even against Qi Jiuxiao, he would not dare to enter the crack of time and space. The Lord of Zolongshan even took the initiative to withdraw from the crack. Fight! Jian Wujuo's color sank, and he took out the pyramid. The crowd rushed in, awaiting final judgment. It didn't take many years to enter the Realm King continent. Unexpectedly, this time I encountered a bottomless thing. Into the space-time rift. Chapter 6159. Jian Wu held the token Xian. He gave him in both hands. Once the source is threatened, he immediately crushes the token. In the canyon of time and space, space was completely lost. A huge black hole was formed. And the black hole is still shrinking. Soon the black hole became the size of a fist, floating in the depths of the canyon. Everything was peaceful all around, as if nothing had happened. But Jian Wushuang and others were trapped in this black hole. Whoa! Is the sound of time. In a flash, 100,000 eras passed. Zolongshan has changed its courtyard. There are also cosmic gods who have visited this place. However, the power of matter leaked by that black hole is extremely huge. The universe gods are helpless. Nor did I feel any breath of life in the black hole. They also dispersed one by one. Only the Kuenping clan of the Demon Clan was extremely angry. Because Zhonggan has fallen. The Kuenping clan, and even the baby of the Demon Clan perished. The several cosmic gods responsible for this matter were all punished into the purgatory of the clan. Because of a treasure. Lost a genius with an unlimited future. This is a huge loss. Because the universe gods are also graded. In the future, Zhonggan will become the cosmic who will definitely be the top cosmic god, even reaching the level of the ancestor of the Demon Clan. But it fell because of a treasure. His Majesty Dugu is just a star domain bandit, although his family is also very strong. But without that family, it would go to war because of a star bandit. The name will soon be wiped out. And Zhalong Mountain. The name was changed at this time. The 100,000 era is very short, but many things will happen. The Dragon Clan did not mention it much. It was soon forgotten. Only the elder brother of the Lord of Zolongshan came here to take a look, and left in disappointment. Did you fall? In darkness, a self-talk sounded. No, they're all alive. The voice was familiar. Brother Wuli. Right. I am also here. And I. Good. Jian Wushuang, Huiqing Wuli Shimu Wang Wuzhua. All five are still there. But it was pitch black all around. There is no space and no time. Mind power is gone. It can only be conveyed by sound. All five are still alive. They just felt that it was dark in front of them. And after a while they spoke. But in the outside world, 100,000 epochs have passed. This is caught in the turbulence of time and space. Yep, just when they asked each other, there was a wisp of color in front of them. Rising from below. Jian Wushuang didn't know about this breath. But Wu Zhua and the others knew it very well. No way. King Shenmue opened his mouth wide and exclaimed. This is the secret realm of the starry sky. A ray of light shone down. Everyone instantly reached a space. In addition to the five of them, Zhonggan, His Majesty Dugu, Lion King, Shijiao, Zhongjing Crow, these star domain bandits are also present. After appearing, a wave appeared on the black mirror like foam behind it. A pair of jade feet slowly stepped on the black foam and came towards them. From bottom to top, everyone followed this gaze. On the beautiful jade legs is a cool blue fairy dress. Human race. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang breathed a sigh of relief. Looking further up, the willow's slender waist and the full and still undulating chest make people swell with blood. Female. Until I saw that face. Everyone couldn't help but take a half step back. Stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Unparalleled. Only in this life. This is the expression they can think of in the bottom of their hearts. because they have never seen such a beautiful person. Even Zonggan, who has a lot of knowledge, is fascinated by it. The face that was so delicate that they dared not touch it made them intoxicated. Good. Huiqing has already started to meditate on Buddhist scriptures. Wuzhua looked straight and swallowed. Cough cough. Jian Wushuang coughed dryly and reminded. Don't look, I can't feel her breath. She is definitely super existence, don't offend. Hearing the super existence, everyone forbeared the restlessness in their hearts and looked away. The beautiful woman gently walked to the front and back of everyone, and then slowly stopped. Little fellows, welcome to the Temple of the Gods. These words made Zong Qian open his eyes. He is the most knowledgeable person among the crowd. After hearing the Temple of the Gods, his eyes flashed. Senior, what do you say this place is? He couldn't believe his ears. The beautiful woman smiled and said sternly, This is the Temple of the Gods. And you don't have to call me Senior, just call me Xingyue. Fellow Taoist Xingyue, where is the Temple of the Gods? Wu Li, who had no knowledge, swallowed his saliva and felt that the other party was easy to talk to. So he stared at the other party's beautiful face and asked about the situation here. This scene was scolded by Zonggan loudly. Junior, don't be rude. Seeing Zonggan threatening them like this, Jian Wushuang turned his head to look at each other. He is not afraid of each other now. His Majesty Duga's divine power has dropped a lot, and Zonggan has only 70 million divine power left. And if it's a big deal, he will fight again. Little Book Pavilion app. When Zonggan heard the words, just as he was about to rebuke, he also saw that Jian Wushuang and others were ignorant and fearless. Explained. Juniors, if you go out, you can ask the elders if you have heard of the God's House, which is the pinnacle force in the starry sky. If my guess is correct, Senior Xingyue, it should be someone. A messenger of Lord Protoss. Protoss. Hearing this title, Jian Wushuang understood. Weiss is that name. Protoss. That is indeed a big man. However, after hearing that the woman in front of him was only the messenger of Xingling, he felt that it was the same. He had even seen Protoss, and he almost succeeded in apprenticeship. Unfortunately, because of the appearance of Dambao, it failed in the end. He just took the first life in his universe, the big purple cat without fur, as his disciple. In terms of seniority, he and Wisna are also brothers. No way, the first life in his universe, that is his child. Weiss accepted his children as apprentices, not equal. And Weiss also passed on his Zizai Ji Gong. Although I haven't practiced it yet. But it is also taught, isn't it? Haha. Xingyue covered her mouth and smiled. Much like Weiss' actions, she said with a smirk. Don't be so nervous, since you are here. It means that one of you has a fate with the temple. Zonggan said excitedly. Senior, do you mean that we can be disciples of the Divine Academy? Is it any good? Seeing Zonggan being so excited, Wooly couldn't help but ask. And isn't this a secret realm of the stars? Why is there a temple of the gods? This is the place all demigods dream of. I asked if it was any good. Zonggan couldn't help covering his face, feeling embarrassed, although Wooly had nothing to do with him. But entering this place together is fate, and they talked about the affairs of the temple in a methodical manner. Chapter 6160. Temple of the Gods. In fact, it's no wonder that Wooly has little knowledge. Except for what he thought. No one here knew what the Temple of God was equal to. As long as you enter the Temple of the Gods, that is the future of the universe. 100% become a universe god. In the entire starry sky, the gods can do it. Because the person who opened up this place is a true master in the starry sky. It's just that the character doesn't care what's going on here. Everything was handed over to those Protoss messengers, such as the star and moon in front of you. But you can't underestimate the person in front of you. The strength of the other party may be stronger than that of the realm king god. As for why it's here, it's even simpler. Stronger than Kaiwang god, isn't it normal to appear here? Even in the hut, there are people trying to squeeze in. After learning about the specialness of this place, Wooly couldn't help but take a breath and knelt down to worship. Stronger than the realm gods. Who would be afraid of Zamasu if he had to enter the temple of the gods? Little guys, The Temple of the Gods is not so easy to enter. You still need to test. Xingyue herself is also very curious. For some reason she will guide him these strange little guys this time. Among this group of people, she could see the extraordinary, only Zhonggan, Huiqing and Jian Wushuang. The rest are far worse. These people come in fact, it is a bit of a waste of places. Not to mention the number of places to enter the Temple of the Gods. Even the places to see candidates are extremely precious. Because it's not what you want to see. It depends on whether you have that ability. If there is, it will be called. I understand this. Since the Divine Institute has given this opportunity, I, Zhonggan, must seize it. Zhonggan bowed and saluted. There was more determination in his eyes. As for the previous competition for treasures, they have long been forgotten. Even if he has the ability to grab that treasure from Jian Wushuang, he will not do it. Because compared to the Temple of the Gods, none of this is worth it. The opportunity to become the god of the universe. This opportunity can only attract ordinary people. Can't attract Zhonggan. But the temple is different. It will not only train you to become of the universe, but also hope to become of the king. Even become a star spirit messenger. 12 star spirits in the starry sky. For each Protoss, there are 3 Protoss messengers. So much for the location. Whether it is to become a realm or a star spirit messenger, these are the heights that ordinary practitioners cannot reach. Okay, since I've made it clear to you, let's get started. Xingyue waved her hand and ripped apart the time and space in the secret realm of the starry sky. Jian Wushuang and others also followed the opening and entered the secret realm of the starry sky. The depths of. Before entering, Jian Wushuang was still very surprised, so I made it clear. They didn't mention the conditions for entering the Temple of the Gods. But after he entered, he understood. The scene in front of me speaks for itself. Huge towers lined up in a row. The land of feathers. Feather building. This time it's really big. In fact, Jian Wushuang has no interest in the Temple of God. Better to do it step by step. However, Wu Zua and others who had learned of the Temple of the Gods had already begun to exert their strength. One by one blinded. After entering the land of emergence, they also discovered that this place is not just them. There are thousands of candidates. They are all going to the Yuhua building. Zhonggan disregarded everyone and went to the Yuhua building first. Seeing a strong monster from the demon race, he smiled and asked, "This fellow Taoist, I just came here, I don't know yet." Before he could finish speaking, the other party ignored him and left. It's impossible to talk about it. They are all competitors. Jian Wushuang also sneered and led people directly to the nearest ascension building. What rules? Let's talk about it later. You wait here for a while. They'll go ahead and quietly. Wu Li and others naturally have no opinion. He is the strongest person. The first Pathfinder. Just before he stepped into the Ascension building, a skinny old man blocked his steps. Go upstairs and hand in the bones first. Bone? Jian Wushuang was stunned when he heard the words. And then he raised his head and asked, "Where to find it?" "Back mountain." After the old man gave a cold sentence, he ignored him. "Skeleton. Back mountain." Jian Wushuang turned his head and glanced at everyone, waved his hands and said, "Let's go." They also heard what they said just now. A mysterious force gradually appeared before their eyes. It's just that no one knew they had entered this place. The outside world thought they were gone. Unbeknownst to them, they entered the trial grounds of the Temple of the Gods. Zhonggan quickly figured out the rules. Go upstairs to get the bones. The place of feathering is actually a treasure of this starry sky secret realm. It was just because the Temple of the Gods was in the Realm King continent, searching for candidates and picking a place. Wu Li and others are very familiar with this place. As soon as he heard Ho Shan looking for the skeleton, he immediately exclaimed, "It won't be for us, let's kill that thing." "What the hell?" "You'll know when you go." When he reached the back mountain, Jian Wushuang was also taken aback when he saw that thing. Skeletons wandered in the mountains behind. If you look closely, you can see that these skeletons are all spliced together. Not a human skeleton. There are also colors on the spliced bones, and is divided into grades. White is the most common and the weakest. Demigods can take it. This is also to take care of those weak candidates. The divine house does not choose whoever has the strongest divine power, but depends on the overall situation. Look at potential and talent. Final decision will be made. Everyone, this time is also considered to be an escape from death, and the opportunities obtained are all seized. But he knew in his heart that if Zhonggan was so exaggerated, it was definitely not easy to enter this place. Speaking of which, if he entered the Temple of the Gods, he might not be afraid of Zamas. The key is to get in. I don't know what the other party's criteria are. I'm familiar with this place. The divine house should be temporarily selecting candidates here. Everyone come with me. Wu Li took the lead. This place is the Starry Sky secret realm in the Silver Blue Star Field. Maybe Zhonggan has never been here, but many people here have entered this place. Although entering this Starry Sky secret realm requires a token, it is extremely rare. However, the people chosen by the divine house are all superpowers of the major forces, not ordinary people. After entering this place, I quickly became familiar with it. Jian Wushuang and others followed Wu Li and Wu Zua into the back mountain and began to hunt the bones. With their current combat power, there is basically no pressure to kill blue skeletons. White bones, the corresponding divine power is less than 50 million. The blue skeletons are 50 to 60 million. Except for Wu Li, their supernatural powers are almost all over 50 million. Soon a lot of blue skeletons were collected, because I don't know what the skeleton level represents. If the white skeleton is taken to ascend to the immortal tower, it may be less difficult. This needs to be tested to find out. Chapter 61-61, 61-67 Collecting Skeletons. Brother Wu Li, take the blue skeletons and leave first, and I'll try those purple skeletons alone. Since there are grades, the things you get will not be the same. Jian Wushuang wants to get the strongest bones, or a skeleton that matches his own. The purple skeleton has more than 60 million divine powers. There are also golden bones with more than 70 million divine powers. He wanted to try it out. Wu Li was the weakest. He just collected some white bones, reminded him, and left with someone. Hui Qing also left. It seems that he is not very interested in this place. The so-called Temple of the Gods is nothing but a force built by a Protoss. They have just entered the Realm King continent, and they haven't even seen a few of the universe gods. So will they understand what the Temple of the Gods represents? Only this time I had to enter this place. Everything goes with the flow. Get in if you can, pull in if you can't. After the rest of the people left, Jian Wushuang began to go deeper. He still wanted to enter the Temple of the Gods. Speaking of which, even Zamasu is a member of the Temple of the Gods. If you enter the Temple of the Gods, you may not be afraid of the threat of the other party. Thinking of this, his speed did not decrease. Into the depths of the back mountain, in front of a purple pool, Jian Wushuang squatted down, touched the liquid in the pool, put it on the tip of his nose and sniffed, and said to himself, "Strange, it turns out to be the breath of the source." After entering the depths, he found that there were many purple pools here. What it contains is not divine power, but the power of origin. Those purple skeletons are actually no different from white skeletons, but they are only contaminated with the power of the purple source and become stronger. The origin is related to divine power, which he has long understood is not too surprising. I just think these purple liquids are a little weird. The corpse of the universe god. He looked up, and from here, he could see a huge corpse. Where is the place where Wu Li and others crossed the 9th robbery, with infinite divine power? Just looking close, it's hard to get there. At the beginning, Wu Li and others were brought by the Great Realm King's people. It is very difficult to go on your own. OM. A loud noise came from nearby, and Jian Wushuang immediately got up and flew into the air. Not far away, a golden skeleton was fighting with a huge mythical beast. Zhonggan. Jian Wushuang knew the identity of the other party when he saw the divine beast. It was Zhonggan who came with them. Huge Kuimpeng. With the power of the starry sky, he is still a super beast. In the entire Realm King continent, I am afraid that there is no second person to be found. There are many super beasts. There are also many practitioners who master the power of the starry sky. Possibly very few have both. The power of the beast and the power of the starry sky are perfectly integrated. Jian Wushuang blinked. He was puzzled at the beginning, but the time and space situation was urgent, and he didn't have time to think about it. Looking at it now, there is a lot of confusion in his heart. And doubts. The power of the beast and the power of the starry sky are combined, just like the original source and divine power. Once he understands it, he may be able to create the super ancient change of the second form. It's a pity that I don't know each other well, so I don't necessarily say it if I ask. Can only watch from the side. The divine power of that golden skeleton is 78 million. Zongan's divine power that has regained its peak can also suppress the opponent. The combat power is extremely fierce. Moreover, Jian Wushuang can see that Zongan's cultivation time is not even as good as his own. Possesses two powers and uses them in unison. Originally, I felt that I was against the sky, but now I feel that there is a heaven beyond the sky after seeing Zongan. It's a pity that the other party only mastered the power of the starry sky and did not breed the source of the starry sky. Otherwise, create the ultimate secret method of super eternal transformation. Definitely much stronger than it is now. Others only saw that he mastered the power of the starry sky, but did not see that he mastered the source of the starry sky. Watching Zongan's battle, Jian Wushuang was also looking for the opponent's way of using his power. It's a pity that in this kind of battle, you can only see some of the opponent's means at most. It is too difficult to study the use of the opponent's power. Ugh, he sighed, and his figure flashed behind the golden skeleton. The golden skeleton at this time has a divine power of 80 million. There is also a golden liquid flowing on its body. Zongan alone can't take it. Zongan, why not cooperate once? He did not rush to take action, but asked the other party's opinion. He's not the type to take advantage of the fire. Zongan was stunned when he saw him appear, and said in surprise, "What do you mean?" Some do not understand the meaning of Jian Wushuang. This golden skeleton, how about half of us? Anyway, the most important core of a golden skeleton is several golden bones. The two of them were separated, and they were able to go to the immortal tower several times. Zongan heard the words and thought about his backhand. It will take a long time for him to defeat the golden skeleton by himself. And he was also stared at by Jian Wushuang. He couldn't see Jian Wushuang as a person. What if the other party sneaks up on him from behind? It is better to cooperate and solve quickly. After thinking for a moment, Zongan nodded and said, "Half points." "No problem." Jian Wushuang agreed. Even if the other party said 3 or 7 points, he could accept it. After all, it has been playing for so long. He even read the means of the golden skeleton next to him. Getting started at this time is also a big advantage. After agreeing, he no longer hesitated and shot out brazenly. Clang! Draw the sword and shoot, and directly cast the strongest sword. Time and space reincarnation. A sword came out. The mighty starry sky power impacted the golden skeleton. The huge force directly impacted the golden skeleton to the ground, and the bones of both arms resisted the sword with difficulty. Zongan was also a little surprised to see Jian Wushuang's shot being so fierce, but he just paused for a while, and then shot again. Incarnate into the body, and spit out filth from the mouth. Don't make these things small. What spit out is venom. As soon as the golden bones were contaminated, they couldn't move. Jian Wushuang took advantage of the situation, and fired several more swords until the opponent's bones were completely crushed. At this time, Zongan changed again, and turned into a demon. Make fists with both hands. The power of the starry sky erupted from a blue fist. The other hand was condensed into a phantom of the beast god, and a punch slammed into the ground like a kuenping spreading its wings. Jian Wushuang also improved the source blessing. Holding the sword of myriad tribulations, the might of myriad swords suddenly erupted. There are thousands of time and space reincarnations. Into the ground together. Wanjian even merged into one at the last moment. Seeing this, Zongan crossed his hands, and two different forces began to intertwine. Dark red and light blue. After merging, it turned into a pink air wave. A huge pink beam of light erupted from his hands. The beam of light hit the ground. Boom! After a loud noise, the smoke disappeared. A bottomless pit appeared in the ground. The golden skeleton was unable to move. Chapter 61-62. Happy Cooperation Call. The two gasped together. Obviously, the attack just now caused the two to use their full strength. Jian Wushuang's original kendo, the power that erupted, steadily reached about 75 million. And Zhonggan's divine power was at the last moment, reaching 80 million. The terrifying divine power made both of them slow down for a while. It's almost close to the universe god. But the current Jian Wushuang, even at this level, it is still somewhat difficult to use the sixth sword of the Starry Sky catalog. I don't know how the original sword was displayed. After merging with Hui Qing, the power of the explosion is not self-aware. Don't know how many. Anyway, the real king is saying that he is stronger than the universe god. If it can still be integrated, he will not be afraid of Sairazama's, but unfortunately there is no such opportunity. Zhonggan gasped, looked at Jian Wushuang and said, I didn't expect you to hide. Why didn't you take the initiative to deal with Hong Yuan in the Canyon of Time and Space, but gave the treasure to the other party? If it wasn't for your intervention, maybe I would have done it already. Jian Wushuang didn't hide it, and directly expressed his concerns at the time. If it wasn't for the bandits in the Star region, and Roland and the others, he had already started, and at that time, he didn't have a clear understanding of his own power. The main thing is to be afraid of being picked up by others. When he left the northern time and space, Zhenling once said that no one will take care of them this time. Need your own strength. Of course you have to be very careful. Can't be careless. Even if the opponent's divine power is only 50 million. He also thought that the opponent's backhand had 100 million divine power. Caution is the boat. You are brave and resourceful, Jian Wushuang. You are very good. Maybe you can enter the temple this time. Zhonggan couldn't help but praise. Jian Wushuang was surprised that he could make the proud Zhonggan praise him. It seems that the other party and him have reached the level of peace of mind. My heart has accepted him. Tianjiao is like this, always cherishing each other. The two entered the bottom of the pit, and after dividing the golden bones, each obtained 5 bones. That's 5 chances. Happy cooperation. See you at the Immortal Tower. The two separated quickly, and there was no deep communication. Looking at the back of the other party's departure, Jian Wushuang stopped in place. He cooperated with the other party this time, not for the golden bones, but to test the strength of the other party. But no chance. As for asking in person, he knew better than anyone that the truth should not be spread lightly. Why is anyone pointing at him? Don't even think about it. Just take advantage of this opportunity to have some friendship with the other party. And maybe there will be a chance in the future. Just like the relationship with Jin Chun at the beginning, he went to the daughter country and got the guidance of the king of Yunji. This is the opportunity. Beast God Soldier. As soon as he thought about it, he immediately wrapped several pieces of dark red magic weapons on his body. Among them, the origin of the dragon's blade is the most powerful, and it is already an artifact. The rest of the beast soldiers, the eye of the candle dragon, is the 9 tribulations realm. The rest are the peaks of the 8 tribulations realm. Pregnancy is useless now. It has to be handed over to the casting master, and the current beast soldier is remodeled. But the source will remain. It was not until now that he thought that he had assembled the divine beast soldiers. The previous experience was really too magical. The beast soldiers gathered. There are also those treasures obtained from the Lord of Zhalong Mountain. When he scanned the treasures, he found 6 artifacts. There is the star above the artifact. The remaining treasures are either consumption-type medicinal herbs, flowers and fruits, or some semi-artifacts. Star. Jian Wushuang frowned. He didn't know much about artifacts, but he had obtained a lot. The original 9 tribulations pagoda. There is also a viewing chessboard. There are 9 stars on the 9 tribulations pagoda. But at first I thought it was a decoration and didn't care. There is a crescent moon on the chessboard. He didn't care either. Now that he saw these 6 artifacts, he suddenly felt that this decoration might be the level of the artifacts. 6 artifacts. 5 of them are 1 star. The last one is 6 stars. A dilapidated old building. It also contains the power of a huge beast god. The body of a real dragon is coiled above the ancient building. This treasure may be the treasure that Zhonggan and others want to rob, and it is also the treasure that the Lord of Zelangshan is careful about. From the power of the beast above, Jian Wushuang saw the incarnation of a dragon. With a move in his heart, he exclaimed, "This source is not a real dragon at the level of a cosmic god. If this is the case, it is no wonder that the Lord of Zelangshan will guard so desperately. When the other party becomes the of the universe, as long as he absorbs the source in this ancient building, he can definitely become a superpower among the gods of the universe. This is like a Taoist who has obtained the origin of a supreme powerhouse. After he becomes an emperor, he absorbs the source, not to mention becoming an absolute top. There is still hope for a 5th-order emperor, even a 6th-order emperor. No wonder, Jian Wushuang carefully collected these treasures. This is what he fought with the others, and it is not too late to divide it after he goes out. It was just these stars that made him wonder. The dragon's blade is also an artifact, but only half a star. As for those treasures that they call demigods, doesn't get half a star. Maybe they were wishful thinking. After collecting the golden bones, Jian Wushuang circled the place again, and left after watching some pools of golden liquid. He even tried to absorb those golden liquids, but was always repelled. Can't absorb it at all. After the white skeleton was dyed with the golden liquid, the divine power almost doubled. But the golden liquid was the power of the source, how strong it was. Unfortunately, he couldn't absorb it, so he could only leave. When I came to the land of feathers again, then they saw Wu Li and others standing in the center of the square with a lonely face. "Have you all been in?" Jian Wushuang asked in surprise. "How long did it take to come out?" "But only for a few hours. Wu Li and the others got a lot of skeletons." "Alas!" Wu Li sighed. "I can't climb up to the immortal tower at all. How do I say this?" Jian Wushuang was a little surprised. "Can't get on. Huiqing is also here. If you can't climb up, it's no problem to climb halfway. Why do people look so lonely?" Wu Zhuo stood up at this time and explained. "Brother Wushuang, you will know when you go in, but you'd better use white bones to climb the building." This Jian Wushuang didn't care. There must be some gaps between the white skeleton and the golden skeleton. Climbing the building with white bones may be relatively simple. The golden skeleton is the hardest. Entering a place like the Temple of the Gods is the hardest way to go. How can you go the easiest way? What's going on inside? Crossing the robbery, Huiqing said without deter. There are 9 floors in the immortal climbing tower. I used the purple skeleton to climb the building, and I failed after only the 5th calamity. 5th robbery. Chapter 61-63. There is also a gap. Jian Wushuang couldn't help taking a breath. He didn't dare to say Huiqing's potential was a complete victory. The purple skeleton climbed the building, and it was only 5 calamities? From the look of them, it's obviously tried many times. Both failed. Speaking of which, I have crossed the most times, and it was only in the 7th calamity that I fell. Seeing the embarrassment on everyone's faces, Wu Li smiled and said, "Although you are powerful, you still have to look at me for this calamity." "Shut up, it's just the white bones you used," Shenmu Wang said angrily. "And this is just the first test. The meaning of the temple is that we have to go to the 9th calamity. That really doesn't have to be tried. The weakest white skeleton they have tried again in vain." Just as they were talking about this, Zhonggan also walked out of the Dengxian Tower. After seeing Jian Wushuang, his expression was surprised. "Jian Wushuang." Zhonggan walked straight. Wu Zhuo was startled, and quickly shouted angrily, "Zhonggan, don't go too far. This is the place of feathering." "It's okay." Jian Wushuang patted Wu Zhuo's shoulder, looked at Zhonggan, and said, "Looking at your appearance, you should be very satisfied with the receipt this time." Zhonggan glanced at the crowd, finally looked at Jian Wushuang, and smiled lightly. "Not bad. The golden skeleton climbed the building and fell in the 9th robbery. but it should be the imperfect fusion of my star power and beast power. Just need to practice for a while. There is hope to survive the 9th calamity. After everyone heard it, one by one leaked an unbelievable expression. The golden skeleton climbed the building and failed to cross the 9th robbery? This is too exaggerated. They are really hard to accept. How could Zhonggan survive the 9th robbery? Still the golden skeleton ascends the building. Jian Wushuang was also a little surprised. Zhonggan is indeed very defying the sky. Even if he has mastered the power of the starry sky, he is still a super divine beast, but he shouldn't be so perverted. Huiqing had only reached the 5th calamity. Congratulations! Jian Wushuang didn't know what to say. He had never climbed the building before, but looking at the appearance of Huiqing and others, Zhonggan might have the best grades here. But Zhonggan was stunned when he heard the word congratulations, and said in surprise, "Friend Taoist is joking, but I haven't passed it yet. If you want to congratulate, congratulations to those people," said and pointed to a group of human race practitioners in yellow robes. They are all golden skeletons ascending the building, and they all passed it once. Those demon powerhouses in purple robes, who are purple skeletons ascending the building, have already passed. I thought I would be able to pass the first time, but it seems that I still need to improve. After Zhonggan finished speaking, everyone was silent again. Glancing at the square, I found many people walking around in the same clothes. All of them have already passed Dengxianla. In particular, the white robes had the largest number of people. Some of them, with a divine power of about 40 million, are not as good as Wu Zua, and others no matter how you look at them. Not to mention Huiqing. Even Wu Li can jump over a group in the past. Why not as good as them? Suddenly, Jian Wushuang wanted to understand. They forget a very important reason. That is birth. These people are the local powerhouses of the Realm King continent. There are almost no space-time powerhouses. This is the gap. They transcended the calamity in time and space. It is different from those practitioners in the Realm King continent, or those who transcend tribulation in the starry sky. This led to their almost total annihilation. Zhonggan saw that their faces were not very good, and knew that they had not passed, so he was not attacking them. After talking to Jian Wushuang to kill the golden skeleton, he left in a hurry. Seeing the other party leave, Jian Wushuang then revealed the guess in his heart. It must be like this. Wu Zua gritted his teeth and said, "I said that the origin of the robbery is not suitable at all, and the divine power is different. No wonder, it's not our fault, it's their request that has a problem." Yes, it's their problem. Soon everyone threw the pot to the pantheon. Since you can't get in, it is also a good choice to take advantage of the situation to explore this secret realm of the starry sky. The last time I came in was because of the calamity. This time I came in to improve my basic divine power. There are many treasures in this starry sky secret realm. It is not a problem to take advantage of the trend to enhance the divine power to the peak of the demigod. It didn't come in vain either. Jian Wushuang heard the words and thought it was a good choice. But he still wanted to go upstairs and try. There is also cooperation with Zhonggan, so he can also ask the other party the secret of using power. Thinking of this, he took out the receipt this time. Even the beast soldiers. He really can't divide this, and the rest of the treasures can be divided well. But when he took it out, Wu Zua shook his head firmly. "Brother Wushuang, you look down on us this time." Before he could finish speaking, Jian Wushuang changed and picked up a crown. "Brother Wu Zua, I think this artifact is quite suitable for you. As long as the divine power is 60 million, it can be activated, and a dojo can be attached to you. In the dojo, your divine power will increase, and your opponent's divine power will decrease." Hearing this, Wu Zua coughed dryly and stopped shirk. 6 artifacts. He took out 5 pieces and divided them. One of them contained the power of the starry sky, which he left to himself. The last remaining ancient building. He also revealed the secret. Because there is the power of the beast in it, it may be useful, and it will be divided later. Originally they took up the light, but they stared directly and shouted, "Forget it, we didn't help too much this time." This time the time and space canyon battle, There is indeed a big difference. When Wu Li came, he felt that at least he was at the bottom. In the end, King Shimu was much stronger than him. There are also Wuxia and Huiqing. Needless to say, Jian Wushuang is much stronger than them. After recognizing the reality, they all felt that their strength was not enough, and they had to improve. Otherwise they would not be able to keep up with Jian Wushuang's footsteps. In the future, they can only travel separately. Don't say those useless words. I only need the power of the starry sky, or the power of the beast gods for the treasures. And the rest of the treasures can't be used. Let's divide them up. If the strength is too weak, I won't take you. Jian Wushuang took the treasures with him. Throwing it to Wu Li and asking him to divide it, he turned his head and left the square, heading towards Dengxian Tower. He has never been stingy towards people like Wu Li and Huiqing. Just pick out one of these people, and it's a friendship that has passed through an unknown number of lives. Just say Wu Li, originally in the infinite world. From the time when the emperor crossed the calamity, he tried his best to delay him. Although they used each other at that time, is the value of use high? Along the way, even if it is a stone, my heart is hot. Huiqing didn't say anything. He still remembered the scene of the first meeting. Who would have thought that Huiqing would become what it is today with the initial entrustment? Wuxia, the named disciple of Qishan. At the beginning, he slapped him a few times, but some things later, he still stood by his side without hesitation. Chapter 61-64. King Shinmu. This friendship is not very deep, but the other party can take the initiative to follow them. And he is a practitioner of the northern time and space. That is his own call. Before coming to the immortal climbing tower, he did not hesitate, but handed out the golden skeleton. Take one step. Enter Xianlu. Space transformation. He also appeared on a golden planet. The planet is very small, and its diameter may be no more than 10,000 miles. The surroundings are barren, and the ground is round. First robbery. The cold voice came, and there was no time for others in hesitation. God's body mass robbery fell directly. Then came the catastrophe within the source. After feeling that powerful force, Jian Wushuang understood why Wu Li and others failed. The way of transcending the calamity here is really different from the northern time and space, which also verified his guess. In the first calamity, there is the supreme calamity of the source. This does not exist in the northern time and space, because the origin universe only appears in the third robbery. Here the first calamity appeared, and the power is not weak, but it was easy for him. In the source starry sky, 9 perfect universes float. This background, it is really not an easy thing to bring some difficulties to him. Moreover, his way of transcending the calamity was originally different from that of ordinary people. Maybe he can survive the 9th robbery. Whoa. After the first robbery, to the 2nd floor. Still the same environment. Only the catastrophe is different. But no matter what, the rules of this calamity have not changed. The test is still divine power and origin. His divine power peaked at 70 million. The source is comparable to the universe god. This is the bottom line. After the 7th consecutive calamity, he felt some pressure. That was the 8th robbery. Starting from the 7th robbery, his calamity has been different. Now facing this kind of robbery, it is almost very simple. There is no pressure. In the 8th robbery, it just felt a little strange. He didn't even use the blessing of the source. Just cast the super eternity change, and directly carried it. The 9th robbery. Just when he was about to cross the 9th tribulation, he suddenly thought that he was only in the 8th tribulation realm. This is going to cross the 9th robbery? He never got through. A humming sound sounded, but the robbery clouds could not be condensed in the sky. Jian Wushuang was also stunned for a moment, and guessed in his heart. It's not because I didn't survive the 9th robbery. This time he guessed right. A dragging force threw him out. Fail. Although he failed, in a certain hall in the land of Ascension, the Xingyue, who was in charge of looking for candidates in the Realm King continent, this time leaked shock. It's not the shock of Jian Wushuang's 8 tribulations, but the super ancient change of Jian Wushuang. This secret method, others can't see any problem. Just feel that the power does not belong to Jian Wushuang. But Xingyue could feel that the power came from Jian Wushuang's body. Whoa! Jian Wushuang had just walked out of the Dingxian Tower, and the figure of Xingyue also appeared in front of him. Jian Wushuang, can we talk in another place? Xingyue's voice was very beautiful, and with her beautiful face, Jian Wushuang had no reason to refuse. The appearance of Xingyue also made those candidates in the square look over. They all leaked surprised expressions. Why did Lord Xingyue not come when I passed? What is the identity of this human race boy that can attract Lord Xingyue to come? He has mastered the power of the starry sky, and I have seen it in House Han. That shouldn't be the case. That guy Zhonggan has also mastered the power of the starry sky. You don't understand this. There must be special means. After seeing this scene, many people are talking about the background of Jian Wushuang. Only Wu Li and the others widened their eyes in disbelief. It's over this time. Brother Wushuang is leaving us. Everyone sighed. There's nothing to be sad about. We are a little far from Wushuang, and following him is also a burden. That's right, but we can't pull it down. I feel like refining those treasures, especially you. You are the weakest. Wu Zue glanced at Wu Li and knocked on the other's head. Wu Li pulled Wu Zue's hand away and said reluctantly, "Don't worry about my problems. Your divine power is not much stronger." Before ascending the immortal tower, Jian Wushuang followed Xingyue and entered the hall on the mountain behind. After entering the hall, Xingyue turned to look at Jian Wushuang and said indifferently, "Jian Wushuang, I really want to know why you have such a pure power of the starry sky. I observed your life experience, not from the starry sky." This, Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. The other party asked this question, and he really couldn't answer. Except for him, only Whis knows about his origin. He doesn't reveal his secrets at will. Even if the other party is a star spirit messenger. Xingyue also saw that Jian Wushuang didn't want to talk, so she opened her mouth and said seductively, "Actually, there is no need to hide it from me. If you tell me, I may be able to get you a special place to enter the temple of the gods." Listening to the other party's meaning, he didn't say it this time, and he may have entered the temple of the gods. But he was reluctant to let him take the initiative to expose his own origin starry sky, even if it is to enter the temple of the gods. "My lord's kindness is in my heart." Jian Wushuang smiled lightly, thanking the other party for his kindness, and was not ready to speak any further. However, Xingyue revealed a trace of dissatisfaction and said in surprise, "Don't you want to enter the temple? I know that you and Zamas have some grudges. He is the realm of the future realm king continent. If you don't enter the temple, the future may be difficult." Jian Wushuang didn't expect to know this, but he thought of the great powers of Weiss at the beginning, and the messengers under him should not be much worse. Then he opened his mouth and replied, "The soldiers will block the water and cover the soil. Nothing to be afraid of. At least the current Kaiwang god is not Zamasu, and he is only in the 8 tribulations realm. After reaching the 9 tribulations realm, he will not be afraid of weaker cosmic gods. After the universe god, will he still be afraid of Zamasu?" Joke. After arriving at the realm king continent, although he was careful, he also had confidence. "Don't be afraid of anyone." Xingyue heard the words, but felt that Jian Wushuang was a little self-confident. Zamas is not as simple as you think. His current strength may not be as good as mine, but with his potential, he will become of the realm in the future and surpass me. Do you understand how strong Zamas will be at that time? Xingyue paused for a moment, then said, "Based on your potential, how far do you think you can go without the blessing of the Temple of God?" It's a bit harsh, but it's the truth. Perhaps Jian Wushuang is not as good as the other. But the more the other party said that, the more he preferred not to go to any temples. Originally, if he had given him some sense of security, he might have gone. Now don't go to death. He doesn't believe it anymore. Who can't live without him? Chapter 61-65. Then he would have already fallen. Will not live to this day. And even Weiss can't see through his future. How can a Protoss messenger determine his own life? Thank you for the reminder, but I have my own way to go, so I won't bother you. He also stiffened. If you think I have a high self-esteem, just be arrogant. You. Xingyue was also a little taken aback by this sentence, but did not expect that a master of the universe in the Eight Tribulations realm would dare to speak to him like this. After staying for a while, Xingyue was displeased, so she sent. Since you insist, then leave this place. After speaking, he turned around and entered the depths of the hall. Jian Wushuang bowed his hands slightly and left the hall directly. If he doesn't go, he won't go. It's not time for him to eat on his knees. Zamasu is not in Kaiwan continent now. His threats are also few. God's domain's Kurd can't take care of him as a little guy. The rest is that Shilu still has metal life. At the beginning, Shilu only had 20 million divine powers. Even if he had a smooth journey, and with the help of Zamasu, it would be good to have 50 million divine powers now. He is not afraid. After leaving the hall, came to Feather Plaza. Wuxia and the others took advantage of the training grounds here. And they had already refined divine weapons. And they also enhanced their divine power. Seeing Jian Wushuang come back, he stepped forward and congratulated. Brother Wushuang, I knew you would definitely do it this time. What did Lord Xingyue ask you to say? Did you enter the Temple of the Gods? Lord Xingyue has appeared, definitely come in. Yes. Those practitioners who climbed the building with golden skeletons did not attract the attention of Lord Xingyue after passing through. Wushuang did attract the attention of Lord Xingyue. Entering the Temple of the Gods is also a 100% matter. Seeing Jian Wushuang coming out, Zhonggan also leaned over and was very curious about what Lord Xingyue was looking for Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang let out a smile and said indifferently, I didn't pass. Everyone was stunned. Even Zhong Qian was stunned. It is not unusual for Jian Wushuang to pass, but it is strange that Jian Wushuang did not pass. Otherwise, how could Lord Xingyue appear? You didn't pass, how could I pass? But everyone understands that Jian Wushuang is a joke. Wuxia comforted. It's okay. Who said that if you can't enter the temple, you can't become the of the universe, and we won't be worse than them in the future. His words caused some dissatisfaction among those who passed the test. Dissatisfaction is just dissatisfaction, because they didn't really enter the Temple of Gods either. This is just a small test. It might fail the second time. The number of places in the Divine House in the Realm King continent is definitely not more than 10 people. And it is not known how many times there will be 10 people. Let's just say that there are tens of thousands of people here, and it would be good to be able to enter one. So Wuxia's words are also encouraging them. Jian Wushuang just smiled and did not speak when he heard the words. Zhonggan stood aside, not knowing how to bring up the matter of cooperation. Now that Jian Wushuang has given up, there is no need to collect golden bones anymore. He had to find someone else. Jian Wushuang glanced at the back of the other party and gave up his original plan. He turned to look at Wu Li and said, You should know the way out of here. Don't worry, I'm very familiar with it. Wu Li patted his chest and said, I was guided by the great realm king. I can remember it clearly, although the strength at the beginning could not pass. But the strength now passes that ancient starry sky road. Not a problem. Let's go then. Jian Wushuang no longer hesitated. When even followed Wu Li and left the place of ascension, passing through the black membrane, they also left the area divided by the Temple of the Gods. Going out from the inside is easy, but if you want to go in, there is no guidance. Even the universe gods can't get in. Whoa. Scene change. A huge blue ancient road appeared in front of everyone. Along with it came some losers. Their divine power is average, only about 50 million. To be able to come in, may also have good potential. It's not based on divine power, but it's good to fail. After crossing the ancient starry sky road in front of them, they will be able to reach another dangerous place. There are many benefits, and their goal is the place where the of the universe fell. In the dojo in the land of transformation, there is a huge power, and there is the power of the starry sky. This time Jian Wushuang can absorb one full at a time, raise the divine power to the limit of the 8 tribulations, and the rest is the source. Maybe he can solve these two problems at one time. At that time, you will be able to cross the 9th robbery. But to enter the dojo where the cosmic god fell, they had to cross this ancient road. Don't look at the open space around. In fact, there is a huge crisis hidden. Be careful of the monsters here. Wu Li reminded him carefully, just as he set foot on the ancient road. It was the first time for Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing to come here. When they heard the monsters, they couldn't help but ask. The monsters? Wouldn't they be the kind of monsters in the canyon of time and space? You guessed it right, but the combat power is much stronger than the monsters in the space-time canyon. Speaking of which, everyone carefully set foot on the ancient road. On the way, ride the pyramids. Can also avoid sneak attacks. After entering the ancient road, they discovered that there are quite a few practitioners here. Luckily, it came from the Temple of the Gods. The rest is the starry sky that entered with the token. At the beginning, their plan was to enter this starry sky to explore after finding the beast soldier. Now it saves time on the road. Pyramid at full speed. Caution is not about slowing them down, but be careful to encounter monsters. If you are lucky, you may not encounter a single monster if you go through it all the way. If you are unlucky, you may encounter monsters of the universe level. Jian Wushuang's complexion changed after learning that there was a cosmic monster here. Brother Wu Li, you said that there are monsters from the universe gods here? Cosmic god. That is the title of practitioners. How can such a powerful existence be born in monsters? And the consciousness is still weak. How is this similar to the promised land that the King of Realms said? If so, perhaps some secrets are at hand. Through the huge projection, look at the ancient starry road outside. Jian Wushuang seemed to have seen the ancient times, where countless strong men passed through this place and went to the promised land to fight. The screen was broken in an instant. In front of the ancient road, a group of monsters really appeared. Divine power varies. The strongest among them has 60 million divine powers. And he has already fought with the practitioners. Babata, go around. Wu Li immediately ordered Babata to bypass the road. Although the strength of those monsters cannot threaten them, fighting here will soon attract more monsters. It will be troublesome then. Jian Wushuang looked at the practitioners who were fighting monsters. Some hearts touched. Chapter 61-66. You go first, I'll help them. Hearing this, everyone except Hui Qing was stunned. I feel that Jian Wushuang has become a little indecisive. If you don't go around in danger, do you want to help? This is not his style. Jian Wushuang did not give them time to ask, and left the pyramid in a flash. If there are 80 million divine powers in those monsters, he may detour. But with only 60 million divine power, he can kill it easily. Super eternal change. With a move of divine power, it rushed directly to 70 million. No sword drawn. The two beams of light condensed in both hands, directly piercing the group of monsters. The opponent was silenced in an instant. Those cultivators who were blocked by the monsters suddenly leaked joy, turned around and bowed. Thank you for your help, Senior. But Jian Wushuang's figure has disappeared on the ancient road of stars. Appears again, has reached the pyramid. Wu Li and others were not surprised, and Jian Wushuang could easily deal with those monsters. On the road again at full speed. Time flies, more than half a month has passed. According to Wu Li, there are still a few days to go. Along the way, they also encountered several monster attacks. But the power is weak. Only about 50 or 60 million. But for those cultivators who came to wander, 50 million was already very dangerous. 60 million, that can already lie down and wait to die. Among the demigods, there are very few whose divine power exceeds 60 million. Not every demigod has the strength of Zolongshan Lord or Zongan. Most of them are more than 50 million, and 60 million are very rare. Those who exceed 70 million are all superpowers among the demigods. As for more than 80 million, there may not be a few in the northern star field of the entire Realm King continent. Zongan can be ranked in the top 10, and his divine power has not exceeded 80 million. There may be those who are stronger than him, with more than 80 million divine powers. The demigods of the entire Realm King continent together may not exceed 20 people. Therefore, they are actually very dangerous along the way. But Jian Wushuang's divine power is strong. In fact, Hui Qing's divine power is more than 60 million. But for some unknown reason, Hui Qing rarely took the shot in the time-space canyon. I have been comprehending the secret method with my eyes closed. It may also be related to the strength of Jian Wushuang, and he is unwilling to fall. He and Jian Wushuang have not had much difference in strength over the years. Even for a long time, it was Hui Qing who suppressed Jian Wushuang. Can't fall now. Jian Wushuang also saw some changes in Hui Qing, but now there is no time to enlighten the other party. A little stress is normal. On the pyramid, Wuli stared around. The rest closed their eyes and rested. Just when everything was business as usual, countless black mists suddenly appeared around. Jian Wushuang immediately opened his eyes. Seeing the black mist, his heart sank. This black fog had given him fear too many times. Because death can turn into black fog. It's just that the black fog at this time has nothing to do with the extinction of life. After all, the other party has fallen for a long time. Be careful, it's a large group of monsters. Wu Li shouted angrily and ordered Babata to collect the pyramid. Everyone appeared on the ancient road, ready to fight at any time. Black fog covered the ancient road ahead. They can only kill the past. Follow me. Jian Wushuang shouted angrily. Draw the sword directly. In the black fog, there are monsters with more than 70 million divine powers. Must be treated with care. Thunder in the fog. 5 figures resolutely entered it. There will be later arrivals. In the face of such a huge black fog, they all stopped in place, tangled up in retelling, and left the stage sadly. And Jian Wushuang and the others entered. The other side of the black mist. It is the dojo where the cosmic fell. At this time several figures appeared. All ragged, sluggish look. They were all seriously injured, and their bodies were damaged a lot. Brother Wushuang, thanks to you this time. These people are Jian Wushuang and others. They slaughtered for a few days in the black fog before they came out. Among them, there are several monsters with 70 million divine powers. In addition, I have to take care of Wu Li and others. Jian Wushuang also suffered a lot of injuries. Fortunately, I obtained a lot of treasures from the Lord of Zhalong Mountain before. After leaving the black mist, they began to recover their divine body and divine power. This place is no longer the ancient Star Road. According to Wu Li, there is no danger ahead. Just want to enter the dojo, but also need to go through some tests. But back then they could enter the 8 Tribulations realm. Now that the 9 Tribulations realm is in, it is not difficult to enter. After repairing the body of God, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Come in. Wu Li's tone was a little tired. The divine body is well repaired, but the energy is a little out of step. After entering, you must rest for 100,000 years. Come to the outside of the dojo. 2 huge stone statues stopped in front of them. Cultivator, beat me. Before the stone statue could finish speaking, Wu Zui kicked it away. The other stone statue has not yet reacted, and it was also solved by Wu Li. Everyone swaggered into the dojo. There are already many people here. There is a limit to absorbing divine power. I am not afraid that you will absorb more, but I am afraid that you will absorb less. The more you absorb, the more treasures you get, until it reaches the limit and can no longer absorb it. That is when it is time to go. However, there are also some people who have practiced here for hundreds of millions of years, trying to comprehend the divine law of the universe in the dojo. After entering this place, they also restrained their breath. Not arrogant. There are still ascetic practitioners here, and they have to be respected. Having such perseverance deserves the respect of all practitioners. Go! The place to absorb divine power is in the cave in front. Wu Li led the way and introduced Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing. It is said that it is a cave, but it is not. Those voids are actually the pores of the flesh of some cosmic god. The flesh does not rot. Emperors can do it. Not to mention the god of the universe, it can naturally be maintained. Okay, after entering the cave, you can absorb the divine power without reserve. Brother Wushuang can go to the blue hole above. Where is the power of the starry sky absorbed? Wu Zhuo found a hole at random and said, my basic divine power is still a little short of the limit, and this time it may take tens of thousands of epochs. Me too. Shimu Wang nodded indifferently. Only Wu Li's basic power is the weakest. The strongest is still Hui Qing. However, among the demigods, their divine bodies are much different. The basic divine power has not reached 60 million. That's not the limit. After saying goodbye to everyone, Jian Wushuang transformed into a flying body and headed for the blue hole above. The power of the stars. The power of the starry sky. Now that he has removed Jiejia, his basic divine power is only 20 million. Is the weakest of the crowd. It is a pity that there is no original treasure suitable for him here. And even if there is, it may not be enough. Otherwise, he wants to spend the 9th robbery here. Chapter 61-67. Now that the master of the 8 tribulations realm universe enters into absorbing divine power, how much can he absorb? Jian Wushuang didn't know it himself. He only knew that his divine body had not even reached the saturation state. Step into the blue hole. It took a quarter of an hour to see what was ahead. On the other side of the cave is a blue ocean. A huge ocean with no boundaries. God! Jian Wushuang couldn't help exclaiming. Such a big starry ocean. How strong was this cosmic before his fall? Such a huge star power. How many years of accumulation? After watching for a while, he stopped being polite, sat down with his knees crossed, and began to absorb divine power. After removing the robbery armor, the basic divine power of 20 million is extremely small in the starry sky here. Call. The breath is well proportioned. Absorption begins. This absorption is similar to cultivation. Extremely slow. At the beginning of the day, it can absorb tens of thousands. After a month, the amount of divine power absorbed every day is less than 1,000. The more you go, the harder it is. In the blink of an eye, the 100,000 era has passed. His basic divine power reached 30 million. Still not saturated. Tens of millions of divine powers were added, and it took 100,000 epochs. It's still faster than the outside world. I don't know how many times. It's just that it's different from the divine power that he increased when he was weak. At that time it was possible to double it in a day. Time passes day by day. Wu Zhuo and others have already come out. Divine power has been significantly improved. They have become stronger since the last time. Also able to absorb more now. And this time, it may be the last time to enter this place. After all, the token is not easy to get. And there is this limitation. So they decided to practice here for a few days, and then go to absorb divine power after practice. So over and over again. I don't know how many epochs have passed by the outside world. Jian Wushuang left the customs. The basic divine power is completely saturated. 35 million. In addition to the indiscriminate increase of robbery armor, it is 40 million divine powers. This changed his view of Jiejia a lot. I used to think that an increase of several million was nothing, but this indiscriminate increase still startled him. He clenched his fists slightly. Jian Wushuang at this time. Demigod Wudi dared not speak. There are really few opponents. With super eternal transformation, his divine power can easily reach 80 million. His starry sky dojo can also increase. It's just that the increased divine power has been weakened a lot. After all, the source of boosting him is only at the level of the 8 tribulations, but it needs to increase the divine body of 80 million. On the body of ordinary practitioners, let alone the source of such a huge increase in divine power, even the support cannot be achieved. Hui Qing. After leaving the cave, he found that Hui Qing was practicing in the dojo below. The opponent's basic divine power is even higher, reaching 60 million. With a basic divine power of 60 million, Hui Qing has completely reached the pinnacle of demigods. Brother Wushuang. Jian Wushuang sat down with his knees crossed, and chatted with Hui Qing, that Wu Li and others were also improving very quickly. The basic divine power has reached about 50 million. Even Wu Li chased after him. By the way, you probably haven't received the reward yet. Hui Qing reminded him aside, and Jian Wushuang realized that the more divine power absorbed, the richer the reward. I forgot this rule. Jian Wushuang laughed lightly. He walked in the direction Hui Qing said. Outside a hall in the dojo, there are several practitioners who receive rewards here. It is those stone statues that give out rewards. By absorbing the divine power of this cosmic god, you can also get the treasures rewarded by the other party. Jian Wushuang admires the other party's brilliance. After the fall, he is still taking care of the younger generation. I don't know who this fallen cosmic god is. Otherwise I have to remember the cause and effect of the other party. Into the hall. The stone statue just glanced at Jian Wushuang, and then said, improved 15 million divine power reward. Before he could say anything, his eyelids jumped, and he looked at Jian Wushuang again, surprised. You absorbed the power of the starry sky? Jian Wushuang nodded. Seeing the expression on the stone statue, he realized that things didn't seem so simple. It's like seeing a monster. It doesn't seem like an exaggeration to absorb 15 million divine powers. But the power of the starry sky he absorbed was different. If he said that he had absorbed the power of 15 million stars, everyone would be shocked. Because the practitioners who absorbed the most power of the starry sky here only absorbed 6 million. Jian Wushuang is more than twice the opponents. It really surpassed the former by a lot. The cultivator who controls the power of the starry sky has only absorbed 6 million divine powers and obtained an inheritance from the cosmic god. Jian Wushuang absorbed 15 million. The stone statues were a little unbelievable. They left the sound transmission to other stone statues and began to discuss around Jian Wushuang. This sword Wushuang was overwhelmed. There was a heated discussion between the statues. The power of 15 million stars. According to the master's arrangement, we can vote to decide whether the other party becomes the heir. The negotiation of these stone statues did not avoid Jian Wushuang. Therefore, Jian Wushuang listened carefully to everything. Heirs. Could he be the heir here? Jian Wushuang was instantly ecstatic. If that ocean of starry sky power becomes him, the 9 tribulations realm will be enough for him in the future. And he can even use the universe god. But all this has to wait for those stone statues to negotiate a countermeasure. Vote. Soon they decided to vote. Because heirs not only need strength, but also need to be judged on the basis of character potential. The 6 statues began to vote. I object. I object. I object. I agree. Of the 6 stone statues, 3 agreed and 3 agreed. The pressure is on Jian Wushuang's side again. Little guy, if you want to be the heir of this place, you need to take a mental test. The stone statue looked at Jian Wushuang with anticipation in his eyes, because he approves of Jian Wushuang becoming the heir. Now 3 on 3. Jian Wushuang is qualified to accept the challenge. Jian Wushuang is naturally meaningless and respectfully said, I do. The inheritance of the white pick, don't do it for nothing. After the 6 stone statues met, they said, okay, you can put your hand on this crystal now. The stone statue threw a crystal, and threw it to Jian Wushuang's side. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate, walked directly to Jingjing Chang, raised his hand and put it on it. Just after putting it in the crystal ball, he saw an extremely desolate world. A world without end. Black fog condensed in the sky. Countless monsters were born. Only him. At the rear is an exit. To stay, it feels like death to him, because the black fog in the sky is continuous, as if pressing the whole world. There are endless layers of monsters at the level of the universe gods. Jian Wushuang was firm in his Taoism. He knew that all this was fake. Chapter 61-68. He rushed forward and took the initiative to fight. Full blast. Ah! He clenched his hands and shouted angrily. Ha! Super Eternity. The divine power jumped directly to 80 million. The Starry Sky Dojo also began to descend, increased his divine power to nearly 90 million. But the black fog just twisted, and a group of universe gods appeared. Jian Wushuang was completely dumbfounded. It's not true. But the sense of fear came spontaneously. Boom! A monster at the level of the universe god, but with a strong consciousness, He raised his hand and controlled a perfect road here. Kendo. A sword out extremely amazing swordsmanship. Jian Wushuang was completely stupid. The body involuntarily retreated back to the exit. Looking at the sword, which was about to reach between his eyebrows, he stepped back again. Call! A strong gasp appeared in the hall. In just an instant, Jian Wushuang failed. That's not an illusion, Jian Wushuang shouted. How can this place be connected to the land of promise? The stone statue was also stunned when he heard his roar. Unexpectedly, Jian Wushuang, who is in the realm of 8 tribulations, actually knows the land of promise. This secret, many universe gods do not know. Only the gods of space and time, and the gods in the starry sky know the threat of the promised land. Jian Wushuang himself also learned from the realm king. Otherwise, this level of secrets, I don't know how long it will take to know. Little guy, do you know the promised land? Several stone statues leaked incredible eyes. If Jian Wushuang knew the land of promise, then the Tao Xian test just now would not count. After taking a few deep breaths, Jian Wushuang came to his senses and replied, I don't know much. Although he didn't know much, he was able to recognize it at a glance when the monsters condensed kendo just now. If you don't retire, there may be nothing wrong. After all, you are picking an heir and won't really kill him. But I already knew in my heart that it was a land of no limit, and I would definitely be afraid. Involuntarily backed out. This is somewhat familiar with his comprehension of the ultimate freedom, and he will automatically retreat when he encounters danger. It has nothing to do with his morals. It seems that you have a lot of secrets, the stone statue commented indifferently, then turned to look at the rest of the stone statues, and said, the first test does not count, and the second test can be carried out. Can? Jian Wushuang paused and wanted to ask about the land of the infinite, but the stone statue ignored him at all. He has a lot of guesses about the promised land. In an endlessly barren place, such monsters can be born. A perfect path can be created at any time. It's amazing. When he entered the ancient road of the starry sky, he felt that there was some kind of relationship between this place and the land of promise. I didn't expect to be able to pass through this place and enter the promised land. And the promised land was even more terrifying than he imagined. If you go in at will, you will be able to meet a group of cosmic gods. How to resist this? Did you go to death? Completely frightened him. For the next test, he did not take it to heart. The Lord of the 8 Tribulations realm universe, with a divine power of 35 million. Let's test his standard of combat power. Throw him into the 7th magic kiln, and the monsters in it have at least 35 million divine powers. Jian Wushuang burst into laughter when he heard this test. 35 million? That's too much to look down on him. Little guy, you don't have to count the first test, but for the second test, if you can't survive in the magic kiln for a month, you can only be judged as a failure. The 3 statues who voted for him to be the heir were all optimistic about him. So it was specially reminded. Jian Wushuang was more interested in the land of promise, and he felt that the heir selected here might be to deal with those monsters. After entering the promised land once, he dared not go in again. So scary. Even if the universe entered, he would be torn apart instantly. Perhaps only a powerhouse at the level of Xingyue can resist it. After seeing his doubts, the stone statue said slowly, everything you want to know, you must show your strength. When you become the heir, you will understand. Jian Wushuang nodded, but he is still hesitating in the bottom of his heart, whether to become the heir or not. Those monsters are really scary. He never wanted to enter the promised land all his life, unless he was at the level of Wes, and he could change the supreme rules at will to have the courage to enter the promised land. That place is horrible. Ambition shattered in an instant, only to live. But now after hearing the other party say that he has become the heir, he will know some things about the promised land. He was a little moved again. Curiosity killed the cat. After reaching his level, he will still be curious. For example, being curious about the structure of this world has some ultimate secrets. Look up at the starry sky. He will be interested in the ultimate mysteries of the stars. Just like ordinary people looking up at the universe, there will be a lot of whimsy. Go! Jian Wushuang is heartbroken. Take one step. Entered the seventh magic kiln opened by the stone statue. Swish. The figure disappeared in an instant. And when he appeared again, he had arrived in an extremely turbid world. Heaven and earth have not opened. Monsters are rampant. It's exactly what they said. Jian Wushuang had just arrived when he saw the rolling monsters. After seeing the practitioner, he immediately killed him without any hesitation. The weakest divine power is 35 million. But few are so weak. Most are over 40 million. This test is really unusual. It's just that the stone statue's brain is too rigid. And I don't know that his divine power is only basic divine power. The 35 million basic divine body, plus the robbery armor, is 40 million. In the face of those monsters he punched out. The turbid things around were instantly shattered, and the world became a little clearer. Jian Wushuang's figure moved, and his body continued to rise. Open the sky. When he accidentally entered the starry sky and saw the giant Kaitian, the same thought appeared in his heart at this time. Clang. The opponent uses the axe to open up the world. Then he uses the sword. Sword chi floated around. The origin of the starry sky appears. Those monsters didn't even have the ability to approach him, and they were smashed by the sword energy just after they appeared. In this magic kiln, Jian Wushuang seems to be the real master. Raise the sword horizontally. Heaven and earth appear. The turbidity disappeared, the monsters evade. There was a gap between heaven and earth. And since then, the difference between heaven and earth has appeared in this magic kiln. As for those monsters, although they have no consciousness, they dare not approach them anymore. Because the sword energy around Jian Wushuang can crush them. Starry sky, maybe that's how it came. Jian Wushuang raised his eyes and saw that this world was opened up by him. He is the Taoist himself. But after he leaves, this place will probably become a magic kiln again. Heaven is also destroyed by monsters. No wonder the king called these monsters the beasts. Devour a world. Chapter 61-69. Isn't it a beast? The long river of time and space opened up by the starry sky is to cut off the attacks of these beasts. Call. He took a deep breath. The scene in front of him was nothing. If those world beasts in the promised land attack the starry sky, can you still stop it? No one knows. A month passed quickly. The stone statues can see Jian Wushuang's performance in the outside world, and they are also amazed by him. The Lord of the Eight Tribulations realm universe, so strong. This is the first time they have seen it. There are actually quite a few people who have entered the Eight Tribulations realm, but they are not qualified to accept the test. Seniors, let's talk about the test together. Jian Wushuang held the sword of myriad tribulations and stood in the hall. Looking up at the back of the stone statue, it was a huge statue. It seemed that it was the fallen cosmic god. 8 stars are also engraved on the chest of the stone statue. This made Jian Wushuang a little surprised, thinking that the statue was also a treasure. 8-star artifact. Although he had seen, and even owned the 9 Tribulations pagoda, but now it is gone. I don't even know what it does. Not to mention anything else. If it can become the heir of this place, the statue may be the most precious treasure in this place. The stone statue seemed to see his surprise. One of the stone statues said proudly, "This is the master's statue, the 8-star cosmic god. God of the universe. 8 stars?" The other party guessed Jian Wushuang's thoughts wrongly, and Jian Wushuang also thought in the wrong direction. I thought that only the level of the artifact was calculated using stars. Unexpectedly, the strength of the universe is also calculated according to the stars. Why, you don't know? The statue is amazing. Jian Wushuang can be said to be invincible in the 8 Tribulations realm. The fact is also the case. The background of Jian Wushuang is also okay. The king of the northern realm is his backer, and in any case, he is also the head of a space-time god. Unfortunately, the other party has long since fallen, leaving only consciousness. I really haven't told Jian Wushuang about the god of the universe. Senior, please clarify your doubts. Jian Wushuang cupped his hands. The stone statue was stunned for a moment. Although he was surprised, He was just a stone statue, and he didn't know what the outside world had become. So he explained, "The universe is accurate, there is no rank distinction, but there is a strong and weak distinction. When you become the god of the universe, the temple of the gods will give you a star, representing one star of the cosmic god, and it is the threshold of the cosmic god. One star is 100 million? Jian Wushuang was stunned. This is too exaggerated. He felt that the strongest among the universe gods had 3 to 5 billion divine powers. It seems that he is still small, these universe gods. There is no difference between the god of the universe, the god of space and time, and the god of the starry sky. It's just that after becoming a space-time god, 3 stars will be given at a time. Even if your divine power is not enough, the temple of the gods will help you raise it to 300 million divine power. The in the starry sky is even more exaggerated, starting with 5 stars. If you can get a position in the starry sky, you can easily become a 5-star powerhouse. This is still an ordinary star god. For example, it is normal to reach 7 stars in the later stage. I want to merge life and become the of reincarnation. That's even more outrageous. This is also the reason why the death is so hard. Once he becomes the of reincarnation, he can even become the of 9 stars. That is 900 million divine power. Senior, are there any more than these 9 stars? Jian Wushuang swallowed a mouthful of saliva, wanting to break the casserole and ask to the end. He really wanted to know the strength of Xingyue. How many stars? Yes, but just changed a logo. How strong is the star spirit messenger of the gods? Jian Wushuang's heart moved, and the strength of Xingyue was stronger than that of the realm. Of course it is also limited. There are so many realm gods. The ancient realm gods may be stronger than the other. It's just that the current world king is not as good as Xingyue. The stone statue was startled when he heard the words and asked, "Do you know the Protoss messenger? By chance I met one." He hasn't said it yet. He still knows star spirit. It's just that it's a bit too exaggerated. Maybe the other party doesn't know how strong the Protoss is. TSK, I didn't expect you to know a lot. The power of the star spirit messenger has reached the limit of a cultivator. Naturally, it has surpassed the 9 stars, and the divine power has broken 1 billion. The sign on the chest will be the sign of the crescent moon. If you encounter a certain respect. Late. After Jian Wushuang heard this, he chuckled in his heart. He had offended one not long ago. Xingyue wanted to ask about his source power, but he didn't say anything. Already offended. Although the other party will not embarrass him, a little guy, but this is considered disrespectful. Unexpectedly, the strength of the other party is more exaggerated than he imagined. Originally, I thought that when I became the god of the universe, I would be able to surpass the other party. Looking at it now, it's too far off. He became the of the universe, and it would be difficult to increase the basic divine power to 100 million. I am not of time and space, and I have the help of the temple of the gods. Everything needs to be improved by itself. Even if there is 100 million basic divine power, he can only display the super eternity transformation of 200 million divine power. Even at that time, the source can be doubled. 400 million divine power, 4 stars. That's nothing. Air. There was greed in Jian Wushuang's eyes. Must be the air of this place. The ocean of star power, he must also win. With the power of the starry sky accumulated in it, when he arrived at the god of the universe, he could devour and improve himself unscrupulously. Anyway, when it comes to the god of the universe, all the rules have been comprehended. The source is also self-improvement, and there is no bottleneck. You have to improve everything on your own, so take your life to cultivate. One retreat is not enough, then twice. Until you become the strongest. The threat of the promised land may lead to thunderstorms, strong strength, and means of life-saving. Can't sit still. Thinking of this, he said again. Senior, please start the next test. It is good. The statue nodded. In the days that followed, he continued to undergo various tests. But it was not difficult for him. Until the last test. Go to the land of promise, and kill a demigod monster. That is the beast. Jian Wushuang was a little panicked. It's not that he can't beat it, but that he is afraid of encountering a group of world beasts of the universe level again. A group of stone statues, seeing Jian Wushuang breaking into the last level, felt that Jian Wushuang had hope of becoming the next heir. Not wanting to give up, he began to guide him. Little guy, don't worry. The promised land you went to this time is just outside. There are very few cosmic gods. Your luck is not so bad. You may not encounter it. Yeah, we won't lie to you. Don't worry, you can't imagine the benefits of being an heir. Jian Wushuang lost himself in this sound of encouragement. Go. It's just the periphery anyway. Chapter 6170. There are very few world beasts at the level of the universe god, and he has no reason to have such bad luck. Go! A barren land appeared in the crystal ball. Just as Jian Wushuang's hand touched the crystal ball, the figure disappeared in place. The next moment, he has entered the barren land. As soon as he entered, he burst out with all his strength. Super Eternal Transformation is blessed together with the Source Dojo. The divine power doubled in an instant, reaching 90 million. Chong. This time, he didn't dare to hide anymore. So he pulled out the sword of myriad tribulations. Prepare to meet those world beasts. The sky trembled. Those world beasts that were regarded as monsters by outsiders began to gather. The stone statue really didn't lie to him. Although the condensed beasts were ugly, they were only at the level of a demigod, and their divine power was only about 60 million. He shook his hand, and the sword energy floated. In an instant, the demigod-level world beast was beheaded. Reaching out to fish, he got the other party's original nucleus. That is the power condensed by the monsters. The divine power inside is also very messy, and ordinary practitioners cannot absorb it. There must be a special powerhouse to decompose it, and then all kinds of power can be obtained. Among them are the power of the starry sky, the power of time and space, the power of the universe, the power of beast gods, and the power of reincarnation. It can be said that it contains all things. It's like a hodgepodge. After getting the original nucleus, Jian Wushuang was overjoyed, and at the same time he said loudly, "Senior, I got it. Teleport me away quickly." After almost 3 breaths of time, there was still no movement. Jian Wushuang felt the changes behind him at this moment. A mass of black fog broke away from the clouds in the sky and began to slowly condense. That power continued to rise, and it only reached hundreds of millions in an instant. The color of the sword has no double face. "Senior, don't make fun of me. This is the god of the universe." He panicked immediately. "I feel like I've been tricked." Standing on the spot, and shouting that Tian is not working, shouting that the ground should not. I'm just about to despair. No, I can't stay here. He turned his head to look behind, the long river of time and space. Where is the border? He wants to go back by himself. Boom. 3-shock universe. Although he couldn't tear apart time and space, with the speed of traveling through the universe, he still had hope to escape. But just as he set off, a huge ghost appeared in front of him. What? Jian Wushuang was in a panic, and immediately took out his sword. Boom. A huge sword shadow emerges. But it was crushed by the ghost. No effect at all. This time Jian Wushuang was completely desperate. With a flip of his palm, he took out the token that Mr. Xuanyi had left, saying that there is any danger, as long as you crush the token, you can save your life. I didn't expect to use it at this time. To be used in another trial? It's even more embarrassing to say. Originally, I didn't intend to use it. But don't use it now. He will be torn to shreds in the next moment. Cultivator. Well, just when he was about to crush the token, the other party spoke up. For a while he was in a trance, because he has never spoken to a beast before. As far as he knew, the other party's consciousness was very poor, or rather weak. It is normal for a world beast of the universe level to be able to speak. But what can I say to him, the Lord of the universe? Seeing that there is still a chance to deter, Jian Wushuang also stabilized his mind. But he didn't know how to answer. After thinking for a while, he stood firm and said in a heavy voice, "The beast." The other party called him a cultivator. He can't call the other party senior. That's not a traitor anymore. To die is to die standing up. Face me, I can't see your fear. This sentence is correct. Don't look at Jian Wushuang being very flustered. But he has always had confidence in his heart. That is the token in hand. This token is his greatest strength. He has always believed in teacher Zuani's words. If it can save lives, then it can save lives. Not to mention a cosmic god, but a group of cosmic gods. He is also completely confident to get out of trouble. Because I'm not afraid of you at all. Jian Wushuang raised his head and simply became hard. This time, I really have to use this token. Although it is a bit embarrassing, I used the token in the trial. But if you don't use it, he will really fall. At the same time, I was also scolding those stone statues in my heart. Actually lied to him. He agreed to kill the demigod and send him back. In the end, he beheaded the demigod beast, and he ignored him. Unfortunately, he also encountered a world beast at the level of a cosmic god. Who does this make him reason with? If he can successfully inherit it when he goes back, he will definitely smash those stone statues and build a thatched hut. Is it because of the token in your hand? The ugly world beast raised his hand slightly, and the surrounding space was instantly frozen. Follow the law. Jian Wushuang frowned, his eyes flashed, his mind power was running wildly. He wanted to crush the token, but found that his limbs could not move. Has been fixed. This is not a matter of time, but a means of space. He has already completed the space, but he is still frozen. The other party's realm is far beyond him. The token also slowly floated from his palm into the opponent's hand. Jian Wushuang was completely dumbfounded. He shouldn't hesitate. It's over now. When the token was in the opponent's hands, he was helpless. Falling crisis. Never has it been so strong. Jian Wushuang was sweating on his forehead. Although I have walked many times between life and death. But there has never been such despair. The last time he faced life and death, it could even be said that he went to death. Or in the illusion in the Mahayana Lingshan, he dealt with the scene of death alone. But that time was an illusion. This time is the real world. This is what you rely on. The ugly world beast, holding the token in his hand, continued. Show your fears. Impossible. Jian Wushuang shouted angrily, forcibly increasing his divine power, trying to break through the fixed space, but he couldn't do it. Her heart was also completely cold. The ugly world beast saw that he still wanted to resist, so he pointed it out and pierced his chest directly. Both the source and the source have been lost. The dojo cannot be blessed. The origin is broken, and the super ancient change can no longer be maintained. The basic divine power is constantly fading away. The current Jian Wushuang has less than 30 million divine powers. He's really about to die. The crisis of life and death is at this moment. If you have a seed, you will return the token to me. Jian Wushuang's eyes were red. I can't wait to rush over to grab the token, crush it, and wait for the other party to be tyrannized. By the way, let's take a look at what Teacher Xuani gave me. But the beast is not stupid. The other party's consciousness is just a little weak. And it's not that the IQ is low. How could it be returned to him? But seeing Jian Wushuang's despairing appearance, the beast played with his taste. It's okay for you, and it can even save your life. Want to negotiate conditions? Jian Wushuang's heart moved, but then he shook his head frantically, not daring to think about it. Dream, you are a world beast born to devour all worlds. I am a practitioner born in all worlds. We are deadly enemies. There is no room for maneuver. You will definitely die. Kill me and you will die too. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.